For the fifth race of the 2010 season, the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East moves to New England for the New England 125. About to get underway on this Magic Mile. And welcome to the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East New England 125 from New Hampshire Motor Speedway in Loudon, New Hampshire. I'm Rick Allen alongside Phil Parsons for the fifth race for the K&N Pro Series East. We move to the flat 1 mile. A beautiful day here in New England, 82 degrees. Wind's calm, so shouldn't be a problem on the racetrack as far as weather. Now let's go down trackside to Bob Dillner.
Joe Gibbs Racing has been the dominant force on the East Series this year. They've won 3 out of the first 4 races. And if you look at Darrell Wallace Jr., who used to be a Joe Gibbs development driver, they've done pretty darn well. But one guy that could break that string today is Eddie McDonald. And if you want to talk about a David versus Goliath story, Eddie McDonald is it. Joe Gibbs Racing has won 3 of the last 6 races here at the Magic Mile, but Eddie McDonald has won the other 3. He's from Massachusetts, and it's a low buck team. Eddie McDonald starts 21st. You'll see him at the front sometime today.
Got his work cut out for him. Difficult to pass on this racetrack. Phil, a very flat racetrack.
It really is. Just over a mile in length, long straightaways, extremely flat corners, and they've changed this racetrack over the last few years a couple different times, trying to create some more passing lanes.
32 cars will start, 125 laps, just over 132 miles. First, nearly $150,000. Brett Moffitt grabbed the pole. We take a look at our point standings. Ryan Truex up on top, just 8 points in front of Darrell Wallace Jr.
This is a relatively short season with only 10 races, so every race is extremely critical. And when you have a large field like you do here at Loudon, it's even more critical.
We're going to take a look at our starting grid on the bottom of the screen, going from back to front. Steve Park, not as good a qualifying effort that he was hoping for, starting back there in row 15.
Remember, back in 14, Andrew Smith finished second early on this season, but got moved to the back due to a penalty.
Ruben Ravello in the number 12 will start in row 12.
There's Eddie McDonald back in row number 11 alongside Matt Kobaluk. Matt probably has more experience here than any other driver, but has never got to victory lane here.
From the New England area, now we've got Zach Germain in the number 24. He's in row number 9.
How about Andrew Ranger? Just won that big West race, the K&N Pro Series West race out in Infineon.
Take a look at row 6. Darrell Wallace Jr. He's second in our point standings. He's got his work cut out for him today.
Miguel Paludo also comes out of the Germain Racing Stables along with Shiggy Hattori.
In row 3, Ty Dillon and Ryan Truex looking to defend his championship from a year ago.
Max Gresham, very, very fast this year. And there's DJ Shaw. DJ Shaw is a rookie, but his father has won here in the East Division.
So DJ Shaw and Brent Moffitt make up row number 1. They come out of turn number 4 expecting the green flag to fly on 125 laps from New Hampshire. Green flag in the air, we're underway. Great start for Brent Moffitt.
He's able to clear DJ Shaw, get in front of him, and get the angle down into turn number 1.
Max Gresham in the 18 on the bottom of the racetrack, battling for the 3rd spot. On his outside, the 2 of Ryan Gifford.
Remember, these cars have low air pressure right now, so they may not handle as good for the first couple laps.
Again, very flat racetrack, so it's difficult to get that side grip here as we see Brett Moffitt checking out early on here. He's got Ryan Gifford behind him, battling for the 4th position now.
Max Gresham was able to just drive by him off the center of the corner in 3 and 4. There's Ryan Truex now to the inside battling for 4th.
Little bobble there on the inside of the racetrack as he works his way around the 2 of Ryan Gifford. Gifford strong on the outside of the racetrack. He's going to power by Truex. Let's see if Truex can hold on to the position. Right behind him, the 3 of Ty Dillon.
See him get a little bit loose. Ryan Truex a little bit loose down on the bottom of Ryan Gifford. Battle for the lead.
Here comes DJ Shaw to the inside, trying to take the spot away. He'll get it from Brett Moffitt.
You know, that's a big thrill for his dad, Dale.
So DJ Shaw out in front. Brett Moffitt running second now. It looked like DJ Shaw really had good acceleration out of the corner.
He sure did. He really got that hooked up. And this thing's about, these motors have about 625, 650 horsepower.
So DJ Shaw is going to lead a lap here at New Hampshire. Brett Moffitt drops back to the second spot now. We see that 18 of Max Gresham running third.
He's been able to drive away from that group, battling for the fourth position of Ryan Gifford and Ryan Truex.
Gifford and Truex running fourth and fifth. Further back in the field, Kevin Swindell in the 9, Cole Witt in the 84.
Kevin was actually the fastest car in practice in that 9 car. Qualified back in the 7th position. Doing double duty this weekend. Going to make his nationwide debut here at Loudon.
Now we see where strategy is going to play in as they start to go to the single file line. Will they get anxious early on in this race and move someone out of the way, knowing it's so difficult to get that track position here at New Hampshire?
Rick, I think it's too early to be even thinking about moving somebody out of the way, because these guys know that they have to get in their pit window. They cannot make it this entire race on fuel to 125 laps, which is 132 miles. Most of the guys in the garage area said they thought they could go somewhere around 90 laps. That's when they would have to pit, but typically we get a lot of cautions, and their pit work usually is done under caution. But once they get in their window, then track position will be critical.
Right now, that 2 of Ryan Gifford just in front of the 00 of Ryan Truex. Those 2 nose to tail. Let's see if Truex is able to charge in. We take a look back. Swindell now looking to the inside of that 3 of Ty Dillon.
And Kevin had such a good car in practice. Was the quickest car. Ooh, trouble for Cole Witt. Early
Witt
pit stop.
Making his way onto pit road early. So problems early on for the Red Bull driver.
The right side tires appear to be up on that Red Bull car.
Bob Dillner down on pit road. We'll try to figure out what's going on with the 84.
Painfully long way down that pit road, too.
Slow road for Cole Witt to get all the way down to his pit stall.
Looked like they were going to go under the hood, so undoubtedly some sort of an engine problem for Cole Witt.
07 of Corey LaJoie just in front of that 77 of Miguel Paludo.
There's Drew Brannon in the 52. That is a battle for the 18th position. Jason Pattison at Lucas Oil Chevrolet.
Jason Pattison a little bit lower line than Brannon. Brannon goes a little higher up the racetrack. There's Matt Kovaluk, Mohegan Sun, number 40. That's been a part of this series for quite some time, accumulating 16 wins as he battles for the 14th spot with Zach Germain just in front of him. Teammates running second and third. Brett Moffitt just in front of that 18 of Max Gresham.
DJ Shaw now has opened up about a 4 or 5 car length lead now over Brett Moffitt.
Those 3 cars trying to check out on the rest of the field. Good long green flag run to start this race. As these 3 continue to work through turns 3 and 4, coming out of turn number 4. Problems on the racetrack. Scott Booley gets turned around. It's just as quickly as I said, a long green flag run, and lap 9 we get our first caution.
I think you jinxed him. You see the left rear tire down on Scott Booley's car.
So problems for Scott Booley early on in this one.
See if we can take a look at what happened.
Oh, coming out of turn 3, it looks like somebody might have been behind him. Maybe gave him a little shove.
Yeah, he might have got a little bit of help there.
So Scott Booley goes around, brings out our first caution. Out in front of the field, it's DJ Shaw, followed by teammates Brett Moffitt and Max Gresham.
With up to twice the life and over 15 times more vibration resistance than traditional batteries, an Optima battery is perfect for whatever you and your vehicle are into. Look for its colored top and 6-pack shape at your local dealer.
Are you suffering from drug or alcohol dependency? Well, read The Alcoholism and Addiction Cure and learn how to discover and heal the real causes of dependency. Call 888-THE-CURE or go to passagesmalibu.com. Make this moment count.
Introducing new Pennzoil Ultra, a revolutionary synthetic oil that takes clean where it's never been before. Nothing keeps your engine closer to factory clean.
field is not the same as leaving it all on the wall.
My truck has enough torque to pull 70,000 people out of their seats.
My truck's got a serious mean streak. I don't know what got that.
My truck's a 750 horsepower ego crusher.
My truck does forget to mind its manners a little bit. I apologize for that.
My truck doesn't mind getting scraped, but it loves getting drenched.
The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Tough trucks, tough racing.
And welcome back to New Hampshire as we're getting ready for the restart of the New England 125. DJ Shaw has chose the outside line. Brett Moffitt on the inside for the restart. Green flag back in the air.
Good jump. Ryan Truex moves to the inside.
Looks like problems for Brett Moffitt on that restart. They checked up behind him.
Slow coming up to speed. Ryan Truex was able to pull back in line behind Max Gresham.
Way down the backstretch now as we see 2 and 3 wide behind him, fighting for position.
Good battle for third. Max Gresham on the inside on the 18. Ryan Gifford in the 2 on the outside.
Gifford running that middle line as we see Gresham on the bottom of the racetrack. Just behind them, the 3 of Ty Dillon. Ryan Truex still on the inside, and then the 35 of Andrew Ranger. Net Waste Management, number 35.
What a huge win for Andrew Ranger at Infineon just a week or so ago. Went out there, traveled out there to the west with this car, with this east-based car, and put it on him out there.
Andrew Ranger, the Canadian Tire champion from a year ago, trying his luck with the East and West Series. Battle for 7. Andrew Ranger on the outside, Swindell on the inside. Swindell looks like he has a good car today, Phil.
Yeah, he really does. He was so good in practice. Didn't get the qualifying effort that he wanted back in 7th, but awfully strong here. He actually finished 3rd here last year.
When Matt DiBenedetto was the victor. Matt DiBenedetto driving one of those Joe Gibbs racing cars a year ago, and now they're so strong running 2nd and 3rd. Oh, not enough real estate here as that 07 of Corey LaJoie goes all the way to the apron.
Looked like it may be 3 wide for a moment. You see Eddie McDonald right in front of him. As Bob Dillner said, you need to watch Eddie McDonald. He is going to make his way toward the front, and he has broken into the top 10 now.
Swindell able to clear that 35 of Andrew Ranger. Takes that position away. Sideways is the 38 of Alan Tardif. He's able to keep it straight.
Miguel Paludo in the 77 car on the inside. Ooh, trouble.
Smoker, that's the 1 of Joey Polawarsik.
Looks like he just maybe have made too much smoke there for tire rub. Looks like an engine failure.
A lot of smoke rolling out the back of that one. We stay green. No caution yet. Ryan Truex on the inside. Ty Dillon on the outside. Truex is going to take that spot. Look at him come off the corner.
Yeah, got a nice bite up off of 2 there. Moves up into the 5th position.
Kevin Swindell just behind Ty Dillon. So it's Truex, Ty Dillon, and Kevin Swindell. Problems for the 4 now. That's Sergio Pena. The left front tire looks down on that race car.
It is going to bring out a caution. Big break for Sergio that the caution comes out.
So DJ Shaw still in front of the 20. It's Brett Moffitt running 2nd. His teammate Max Gresham is 3rd. Sergio Pena in the number 4 brings out our 2nd caution of the day with a flat left front tire. We'll be right back.
Today, NASCAR returns to Daytona to celebrate America's independence, and we're there as NASCAR superstars hit the high banks for Sprint Cup practice and final practice. Live coverage begins today at 4 Eastern with NASCAR Sprint Cup practice.
Only on Speed.
Tonight, who will follow in the footsteps of Petty, Johnson, Earnhardt, France Sr., and France Jr.? Find out as the nominees for the 2nd class of the NASCAR Hall of Fame are unveiled exclusively on NASCAR Race Hub. Tonight at 8 Eastern, only on Speed.
We just tested Quaker State motor oil that had driven thousands of miles in New York City taxis. And that used Quaker State still passed these critical tests for brand new oil, even when it's ready to be replaced. Quaker State, real, durable oil.
Keep feeling fascination, passion burning, love is so strong.
If
whiskers with electric shave.
Electric shave!
Stands up whiskers for an up to 52% closer shave.
Man, that was close.
Electric shave. Blade close. Electric smooth.
Last appointment, my dermatologist said lotion with sunscreen all over.
Introducing Gold Bond Ultimate Protection Body Lotion. Moisturizers, vitamins, plus sunscreen.
Soft and safe every day.
New Gold Bond Ultimate Protection.
This stuff really works.
Uh-oh. When diarrhea hits, KO. KO Pectate stops it fast. Powerful liquid relief speeds to the source fast to stop diarrhea and get your system back to normal.
Fast.
KO Pectate. Stop the fast with KO.
I'm a dancer, and until now, my feet showed it.
Since foot skin's 20 times thicker, there's Gold Bond Ultimate Healing Foot Cream. 7 penetrating moisturizers and vitamins help heal rough, dry feet. Gold Bond Ultimate Foot Cream.
This stuff really works.
To the New England 125, field all back in line. DJ Shaw again choosing the outside line. Brett Moffitt on the inside. While we were away, the 84 of Cole Witt came back out on the racetrack. He's 15 laps down. Green flag back in the air.
Some sort of a drivetrain problem for Cole Witt.
Very good restart for Moffitt and DJ Shaw. Moffitt working the inside, trying to take the lead back away from DJ Shaw.
Looks like he may have the advantage up off of turn number 2.
Down the backstretch, rocketing into turn 3. The 20 will take the advantage, so Brett Moffitt back in front. DJ Shaw drops back to the second spot.
Brian Gifford now up to third on this restart. Max Gresham trying to fight back on the inside to get that third position back. Now Ryan Truex moves to the outside of Gresham.
Truex on the outside, Gresham on the inside. Gresham's dropped back a couple spots. He was running in the third position. Slides up the racetrack, almost makes contact with the 00. Ryan Truex able to hold his line, and he surges forward for the fourth spot.
Most of the drivers say with this warm weather up in the 80s, this racetrack is pretty slippery.
Kevin Swindell on the bottom of the racetrack. Ty Dillon on the outside. That's the 9 and the 3. Running side by side as they come down the front stretch.
Got that waste management car right behind them, Andrew Ranger.
Swindell throwing that number 9. Ooh, a little bit hard into the turn, got sideways, and that allows Ty Dillon to make the move on the outside and make the pass.
Yeah, it looked like Kevin Swindell wanted the middle of the racetrack, and that only allowed Ty to have the outside of the racetrack.
So Ty Dillon takes the position away. 3 wide! Doesn't normally work around this racetrack.
That's Darrell Wallace Jr. in the 6 car, the winner of our first race this season. Jason Pattison, the 17 on his outside, and then the 52 right in front of those cars is Drew Brannon.
Drew Brannon able to get by them. As we see Darrell Wallace Jr. on the inside trying to get by that 17 of Jason Pattison.
And 39 of Dustin Delaney right behind this group.
Phil, up to this point, I don't know if there's a preferred line. We've seen guys pass on the outside. We've seen them pass on the inside.
And a little bit in the middle.
And some just trying to hang on.
Darrell Wallace Jr. able to get by the 17 of Jason Pattison.
39, Dustin Delaney just behind this group.
Jason had his best finish of his career at Martinsville. Last time out, finished 6th.
Here comes Delaney on the inside, that number 39. Slides up the racetrack, can't keep it down low. Jason Pattison still stays in front in the 17.
Long straightaways here. Probably reach speeds upwards of 150, 155 miles an hour on these straightaways.
Drivers always talking about this racetrack being so flat, but being over a mile, it's considered a super speedway. But all the time you hear him say it races like a short track.
Yeah, totally like a short track. Used a lot of brakes here. Here's a good glimpse of Cole Witt now, who is a number of laps down, as we mentioned earlier.
Back out on the racetrack again. A drivetrain problem put him on pit road, and almost a problem for Sergio Pena once again. Again, he brought out our most recent caution with a left front tire going down, and then way up the racetrack he went, able to save it.
They're way up into the loose stuff there. That's no man's land.
Jody Lavender in the 88, just in front of the 4.
Jody tries to work to the outside of the 30 of Jeff Anton. Now he's going to move to the inside.
A little crossover move. We'll see if it works out for Jody Lavender. Jeff Anton stays up. That doesn't give him a lot of room.
Jody slides up the racetrack a little bit in the center of the corner.
Little right rear fender damage to that 30 of Jeff Anton. Maybe a little contact earlier in this race. Now we see Sergio Pena throwing that number 4 into the corner. Let's see if it sticks.
Drives it hard down into turn number 3. Look how much flatter it is on that bottom lane than it is up in the middle of the racetrack.
Jody Lavender able to hold on to the spot, even though Sergio Pena trying hard to take it away. Back to the bottom of the racetrack again.
Well, Sergio can really get in the corner extremely hard. Unfortunately, cannot get the bite up off the corner from the bottom of the racetrack.
Now again, Sergio Pena had a left front tire go down, so they came onto pit road, changed tires, so he's got a little fresher tires than Jody Lavender right now, and he's trying to make those work. And now we see Lavender go to the outside of Jeff Anton once again.
Tries to get to the outside of Jeff Anton.
Single file line once again.
That's Matt Fromm, the 33 car in front of them. Matt made his debut at Martinsville and finished with a top 10 finish in 8th.
Impressive for the 20-year-old out of North Salem, New Hampshire.
Watch Sergio Pena get down in the corner, but then again, he loses that momentum in the center of the corner. Now when he gets back to the throttle, he's going to try to get to the inside, but just can't quite use all that power to get to the inside of Jody Lavender.
Now Lavender to the outside of the 30 of Jeff Anton. Looks as though he's going to try the outside line, see if he can get by. Sergio Pena is going to follow. Pena right close to the 30 of Jeff Anton as they come out of the turn.
Looks like they're going to make the outside work and get around Jeff Anton.
Close call for Sergio Pena as he's able to make that pass. Now looking to the inside of Jody Lavender.
Nice exit off the corner that time. He's going to make it 3 wide on the inside of Matt Fromm.
So Fromm slows down the pack, but not enough for Sergio Pena. He's able to get by. Jody Lavender now falls back a spot, so he'll drop back into the 27th position. Pena takes 26th. All the while out front, it is Brett Moffitt in the number 20. He's comfortably in front of DJ Shaw, Ryan Gifford, Truex, and Gresham.
Friday, NASCAR returns to Daytona, and we're there for live Sprint Cup qualifying. Then Kevin Harvick and Casey Kane bring the party to NASCAR trackside. Live coverage begins Friday at 4 Eastern with NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying. Only on Speed.
The adhesive brand trusted by dads is the same adhesive brand trusted by pit crews. For over 50 years, Loctite has formulated adhesive products for some of the world's most challenging jobs. Loctite, trusted performance, proven results.
May I help you?
Hi, I need to start saving on car insurance.
Money a bit tight?
Yeah, I've had to cut back, sell some stuff.
Like his watch.
Ah, we can help you save because we instantly compare your Progressive Direct rate with rates from other top companies. Watch this. Nice savings.
This means I can buy my watch back.
Oh, this watch?
Yeah.
Not for sale.
That's cold.
Making sure you get a great deal. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
Sir, finding everything okay?
I work for a different insurance company. My auto policy is just getting a little too expensive.
With Progressive, you get the name your price option, so we build a policy to fit your budget.
Wow, the price gun. Wish we had this. We just tell people what to pay.
Yeah, we're the only ones that do.
I love your insurance. Bill.
Tom?
Hey, it's an office party.
The freedom to name your price. Only from Progressive. Call or click today.
July 11th, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series thunders into the Hawkeye State for door-to-door, lightning-fast, full-contact excitement. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series live from Iowa, July 11th at 1:30 Eastern, only on Speed.
And welcome back to the New England 125. It's still Brett Moffitt. He's now putting on a clinic here at New England in the New Hampshire Motor Speedway in front of DJ Shaw by that much distance. You saw just a glimpse. About 100 yards between he and second place DJ Shaw.
Good battle for fourth. Ryan Truex now has taken over the third position, but Max Gresham in the 18, Ryan Gifford in the 2, and Kevin Swindell in the 9, all in a tight battle for fourth.
So Truex up in front of that group. Gresham just behind.
Ty Dillon right behind the 9 of Kevin Swindell.
These four all racing for position now. Gresham in front. Ryan Gifford running in that number 2 just behind Kevin Swindell in the 9 and Ty Dillon in the 3.
Over halfway through, probably to a fuel run here, so I think these guys are definitely in their window. If the caution flag were to come out anytime soon, I think you'll see them all come to pit road for fuel, and that should be all the fuel that they'll probably need for this race.
Again, this is a pretty long green flag run that we've had up to this point. 2 cautions. Scott Booley had problems early on lap 9, and then Sergio Pena blowing the left front tire way back on lap 17. So these guys have been on the racetrack for quite some time now, as we see Kevin Swindell closing the gap between he and that 2 of Ryan Gifford.
Max Gresham able to open up a little bit of distance in front of the 2 of Ryan Gifford.
As quickly as we saw them get close, this separation once again. Here's Ruben Ravello in that Chevy Telmex Racing number 12.
Yeah, this is a Troy Williams team, and Troy's been very consistent in working with the diversity program and developing Mexican drivers. Ruben now will be running over in the NASCAR Mexico Tour, and will alternate maybe in this car with Beto Montero and some possibly some other Mexican drivers.
I know that Ruben's mom and dad are here. His dad's actually spotting for him today. Brett Moffitt still holding on to the lead in New England. So Moffitt out front. Ryan Truex holding on to the second spot. DJ Shaw has dropped back to third now. So Truex, the man on the move. And look how close he is to Brett Moffitt.
Yeah, he has closed up that huge deficit he had just a few laps ago, all over the back of Brett Moffitt.
Jeff Anton on the outside. They're passing the slower lap traffic. Ruben Ravello just in front of the 20 of Brett Moffitt.
Zach Germain, the 24, right in front of Ruben. Brett's going to try to work to the inside.
Brett Moffitt now having to worry about the 00 of Ryan Truex taking the right line around the slower lap traffic. Here comes Truex on the outside.
Which way is Ruben going to go? That could dictate who gets this lead here. Truex goes to the outside.
Truex takes the lead away from Brett Moffitt. He goes around the slower lap traffic on the outside. He's going to go by Zach Germain, another lapped car. And Brett Moffitt has dropped back to second.
What a nice move by Ryan Truex to use those lap cars to his advantage. Moves around the outside of him and opens up about a 4-car length lead now over Brett Moffitt.
So Ryan Truex trying to check out. Now that he's got clean air in front of him. Brett Moffitt running second. And they were able to get by the slower lap traffic. Ryan Truex used them as a block to take over the lead here in New Hampshire.
Right now, Zach Germain right behind Brett Moffitt is trying to be the lucky dog in the event the caution flag were to come out, so he needs to stay ahead of those other cars. Jeff Anton, Ruben Ravello, all those other cars now that are a lap down.
And look at the clean racetrack in front of Ryan Truex. As soon as he got that clean racetrack, he has been able to check out. So Truex, our new leader in the New England 125. Stay with us.
Saturday, the Rolex Sports Car Series returns to Daytona, and the battles on the track are more explosive than a 4th of July firecracker. Celebrate the holiday weekend from Daytona, Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed.
Before they can do this, someone's got to do this. Start your career as a motorcycle technician at YTI in just 9 months. That's right, in just 9 months you can get the hands-on experience you need to start a great career doing what you want. Accelerate your career in just 9 months by calling YTI right now. 1-800-775-6960. That's 1-800-775-6960. Call now.
May I help you?
Hi, I need to start saving on car insurance.
Money a bit tight?
Yeah, I've had to cut back, sell some stuff.
Like his watch.
Ah, we can help you save because we instantly compare your Progressive Direct rate with rates from other top companies. Watch this. Nice savings.
This means I can buy my watch back.
Oh, this watch?
Yeah.
Not for sale.
That's cold.
Making sure you get a great deal. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
Sir, finding everything okay?
I work for a different insurance company. My auto policy is just getting a little too expensive.
With Progressive, you get the name your price option, so we build a policy to fit your budget.
Wow, the price gun. I wish we had this. We just tell people what to pay.
Yeah, we're the only ones that do.
I love your insurance. Bill.
Tom?
Hey, Hey, it's an office party.
The freedom to name your price, only from Progressive. Call or click today.
It's the ultimate NASCAR pre-race experience. NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot. All season long, only on Speed.
Ryan Truex able to hold on to the top spot. Now he gets behind some slower lap traffic here in the New England 125 in Loudon, New Hampshire.
Kevin Swindell's been able to get by the 18 of Max Gresham to take over the 4th spot while we were away.
Good battle for second here. Brett Moffitt now has a rear view mirror full of the 60 of DJ Shaw. So Shaw trying to take second away from Moffitt as he's lost the lead to Ryan Truex. Now he begins to drop back just a bit.
Brett's car was so dominant early on, but we saw Truex get by him and drive away, and now DJ Shaw has caught up to Brett Moffitt, so his car is a little bit off right now, but know that he's going to have an opportunity to adjust on that car when he makes his pit stop.
And I can imagine there are some drivers right now screaming to the crew chief saying, I have got to have some new tires and changes on these race cars. It's been a long green flag run as we see DJ Shaw take second away from Brett Moffitt.
Yeah, nice run by DJ Shaw to get by Brett Moffitt to take over the second position. Not only are the drivers screaming that need adjustments, they're also talking about all the debris on the racetrack.
Please throw a caution. There's things all over this track. Normally that's not the guy out front that is yelling that. It's the guy that's normally about to go a lap down that sees that debris.
That's when the NASCAR officials really listen, is when the guy that has the most to lose is the one that's
screaming the loudest.
Screaming the loudest, and they say, well, there must be something to it.
Yeah. So DJ Shaw up into the second spot. Brett Moffitt has dropped back to third. We'll see if Shaw has anything for Ryan Truex. Truex looking dominant today now after he got by Brett Moffitt. There you see the gap between second and third. DJ Shaw in the 60, Brett Moffitt in the 20.
There's Corey LaJoie making the move on Eddie McDonald. That's a battle for the 9th position.
These two racing inside the top 10. Eddie McDonald back on the outside, surging back. Maybe a little contact there as Corey LaJoie ducks in behind the 71.
Andrew Ranger, the 35, right in front of these two. Corey stays on the inside, not quite able to get underneath Eddie McDonald as they got down into turn number 1.
Very close racing. Again, this is a battle for the 9th spot. Eddie McDonald in the 71, just in front of Corey LaJoie in the 07.
Corey came up here last year and finished third in one of his very first starts ever in the East Series.
Andrew Ranger gets a little sideways in that 35 as he tries to go by Jeff Anton. Anton moves up the racetrack, allowing Eddie McDonald to get by on the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes the 07 of Corey LaJoie, also trying to find a way around that 30.
Eddie McDonald clears Jeff Anton. Now Corey LaJoie moves to the inside. Gets in the throttle in the center of the corner. See if he can maintain that speed off. He does, and clears him.
So he can set his sights back on Eddie McDonald in that 71. Here's Kevin Swindell on the inside of the 20 of Brett Moffitt. So he's taking a position away as Moffitt drops back.
Kevin Swindell definitely on the move now. Started back in the 7th position. Now he's made his way up to 3rd. Again, Brett Moffitt continues to fall back a little bit.
And it looks as though Corey LaJoie slowed on the racetrack, and that is bringing out our 3rd caution. Wonder if he's out of fuel, Phil.
I think so. We talked about these guys thinking they could go around 90 laps, and that's 84 laps. Remember, they had to qualify, and so they used a little bit of fuel doing that. They were impounded, so I think that's definitely the case that Corey LaJoie ran out of fuel.
Yeah, there's no smoke. It doesn't look like there was any contact made. He just slowed on the racetrack, so it looks as though Corey LaJoie's out of fuel. We've got our 3rd caution. Field lines back up again for the restart. After 88 laps, it's Ryan Truex out in front, and they can go the distance now after everyone has been on pit road. Green flag back in the air. Ryan Truex with a great restart. Ty Dillon on the outside can't keep up.
That's an incredible restart for Ryan Truex. Ty Dillon's going to lose at least 1 position to Kevin Swindell. Looks like he's going to fall back in at about 3rd.
Then side by side, DJ Shaw on the inside. In that number 60, he drops back.
6 of Darrell Wallace Jr. to his outside. Watch Max Gresham, that 18, goes down on the apron of the racetrack to make it 3 wide.
Contact in the corner on lap 90. Sergio Pena involved in this, as is the 8 of McKenna Bell.
Matt Fromm, the 33, is the red car up against the outside wall.
Let's take another look at what just happened on the racetrack. Again, this entering turn 3.
You see the 17 of Jason Pattison is completely sideways, makes contact with Sergio Pena right in front of the rest of the field. McKenna Bell commits to the outside, but Sergio's car was going up towards the outside wall. She absolutely had nowhere to go, as well as Matt Fromm in the 33.
And problems with the 17 of Jason Pattison. That's going to end his day. He was 10th in points coming into this race and not happy that his day is over early. So Ryan Truex and Ty Dillon are 1 and 2 when we come back to the New England 125.
Tonight, who will follow in the footsteps of Petty, Johnson, Earnhardt, France Sr., and France Jr.? Find out as the nominees for the second class of the NASCAR Hall of Fame are unveiled exclusively on NASCAR Race Hub. Tonight at 8 Eastern, only on Speed.
This is 5-Hour Energy. If 5-Hour Energy were a car, it would be this. Fast, exhilarating, taking you from groggy to, oh yeah, in a hurry. This is coffee. If coffee were a car, it would be this. It'll get you where you want to go, eventually.
Hey, Pop. Hey, Steve, want to trade? Nope. Nice car.
5-Hour Energy. What's driving you?
Experience Bare Minerals, the foundation that started the makeup revolution. Are you ready for flawless coverage and makeup that is actually good for your skin? Now you can get our new kit for over 75% off what you'd pay at retail. Our exclusive introductory Get Started kit includes the award-winning Bare Minerals Foundation. You'll also receive warmth for a healthy glow, Mineral Veil, the ultimate finishing touch, and Bare Minerals Professional Flawless Application Brush. Call now and receive our new bonus collection worth $57.95 free, including the highly anticipated Flawless Definition Mascara. Purchased separately, you'd spend over $120. Our original Get Started kit was a great deal at 2 payments of $29.99. But for a limited time, you get all this, including the bonus gifts, for only 1 payment of $29.99. You save over $90 and get a 30-day money-back guarantee.
To save over 75%, order now by calling 1-800-644-5699 and ask how you can receive the free handy compact with brush with your order.
Here comes field once again out of turn number 4 following the pace car. It will duck onto pit road as we get ready for the restart. Truex and Dillon, 1 and 2. Truex on the inside, Dillon on the outside. Green flag in the air.
With only about 30 laps to go, they know these restarts could be critical. Pretty good restart by Ty Dillon, but Truex is going to hold the lead.
Moving to the inside, Kevin Swindell in that number 9. We've seen a very strong performance out of him today, trying to get second away from Ty Dillon.
He was able to keep his right front fender up inside the left rear quarter panel of Ty Dillon.
Now let's see if he can make it stick as they work their way through 3 and 4. Kevin Swindell on the bottom of the racetrack, Ty Dillon on the outside.
Where Ty's doing a nice job fighting back on the outside. Ty had such a great run at Iowa in that combination race with a second-place finish.
Here comes Kevin Swindell, bottom of the racetrack. Ty Dillon on the outside. Dillon running strong on the outside, able to hold off Kevin Swindell through 1 and 2 once again.
What a great battle with these 2 young drivers. There's a 6 of Darrell Wallace Jr., another young driver. Boy, the youth in this series is really evident, isn't it?
That time, Kevin Swindell threw it into turn number 3, has the advantage as they come on to the front stretch, but only by half a car length. Here comes Dillon again, fighting back on the outside.
Kevin Swindell got oh so close to clearing Ty Dillon. This time it looks like he has it.
Kevin Swindell able to make the pass. Ty Dillon drops back to the 3rd spot. And just behind them, Darrell Wallace Jr.
Meanwhile, up front, Ryan Truex is saying, boy, I like you guys racing side by side.
Yeah, keep the side-by-side racing up. That's good for me.
There's some more side-by-side racing here. The 20 of Brett Moffitt on the inside, Ryan Gifford the 2 on the outside.
That's a battle for the 5th position. Ryan Gifford on the outside trying to hold that line. Brett Moffitt, we saw him drop back after leading quite a few laps early in this race.
Green number 38 is Alan Tardif. He's having a great run today.
Here comes Andrew Ranger in the 35, that Waste Management number 35.
Alan Tardif works to 3 wide going in 3.
Ranger's going to make it 3 wide. Let's see if he can hold it on the bottom of the track. Very close call. Brett Moffitt in the middle. Everyone stays pointed the right direction. Alan Tardif able to take the position away. And here comes Brett Moffitt now.
as Andrew Ranger all over his rear bumper. Here comes DJ Shaw back on the outside of Andrew Ranger.
DJ Shaw in the 60, Andrew Ranger in the 35. They're side by side. Now Ranger trying to close the door on that 60 of DJ Shaw.
Corey LaJoie moves back to the inside of Drew Brannon. Remember, Corey caused that caution flag.
Running out of fuel. And here comes the 71. We heard Bob Dillner talk about Eddie McDonald was going to be making the move up toward the front. Well, right now he's battling for 8th.
DJ Shaw drives to the inside of Andrew Ranger, does a little slide job on him, then some contact, and here comes Corey LaJoie.
Corey LaJoie on the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get by Andrew Ranger now.
Corey lost all his track position when he ran out of fuel, but he's fought his way back up inside the top 15.
Corey LaJoie battling back in the field. The battle for 3rd continuing between Ty Dillon in that number 3 and Darrell Wallace Jr. in the 6. Phil, you mentioned it earlier, the youth in this series. We see so many cars with the yellow stripe on their back, indicating a rookie status.
Yeah, I think we have over half the cars in the field with rookie stripes.
And these 2 rookies are battling for a top 3 position now as Ty Dillon's trying to hold on to it. Here comes Darrell Wallace Jr. down on the bottom of the racetrack.
Ty Dillon was up a little high that time, got his right rear tire in some speedy dry.
Able to keep it straight. Now Darrell Wallace Jr. looking a little higher line. See if he can keep the momentum up on that number 6.
Trying to use that outside line, doing a nice job of it. See the lead Ryan Truex has right now over Kevin Swindell. This is the battle for 3rd.
3 of Ty Dillon holding on to that 3rd spot. Darrell Wallace Jr. trying to take it away. Darrell's season fairly impressive. Started off at Greenville Pickens with the win. His last 2 races, finished 3rd.
And that win at Greenville Pickens was the youngest ever in the series.
Just 16 years old when he got that win. Just in front of him, the 3 of Ty Dillon. He's only 18, so not a lot of age in this series. Ty Dillon, the grandson of Richard Childress. His brother Austin Dillon running in the Camping World Truck Series full-time.
Doing a nice job. A couple poles the last 2 races and a couple top 5 finishes.
Some more side-by-side racing as we see the battle for 13th. Gresham on the outside, Dustin Delaney on the inside, and that number 39. Delaney looks like he's got a good run into turn number 1.
Not quite able to clear him through the center of the corner. See if he can beat him up off the corner. Ruben Ravello, the 12 car, right behind this group. There's Ryan Duff in the 7 car behind Ruben.
These 2 stay door to door. Dustin Delaney looked to have the advantage getting into the turn, but then...
Ooh, sideways!
Sideways for Delaney. Can he hold on to it? Coming out of turn 4, he's able to hold on to it, but he loses the spot and a couple more.
Jody Lavender, the 88's going to get by on the inside.
So a tough run there for Dustin Delaney. Looked as though he had the car on rails, but then breaks loose and loses 2 spots.
He's able to get back by the 88 of Jody Lavender. Now he's going after the 7 of Ryan Duff. Good battle right here. That's Alan Tardif, the 38 car. That's a battle for the 6th position. Eddie McDonald now moves to the inside.
Eddie McDonald on the bottom of the racetrack, trying to make it stick. Later in the run, as you mentioned, you get those guys with the tires real slick. Oh, Sergio Pena in the wall once again. Problems for the 4. This happens in turn number 2. You see all the damage to the left rear. Caution comes out once again.
What a tough day it's been for Sergio Pena.
So Ryan Truex is still holding on to the top spot. Can he find victory lane at New Hampshire Motor Speedway? Stay with us.
What if the person of your dreams is out there waiting for you? And what if this weekend only, eHarmony introduced you to that person absolutely free? Announcing the Free Communication Weekend from eHarmony, where we match you with other singles based on 29 dimensions of compatibility, like intellect, values, and character. And this weekend only, you can communicate with your compatible matches for free. The eHarmony Free Communication Weekend, this Friday through Monday, 4 days only. So get started today at eHarmony.com.
Keep feeling fascination, passion burning, love love is so strong.
The adhesive brand trusted by dads is the same adhesive brand trusted by pit crews. For over 50 years, Loctite has formulated adhesive products for some of the world's most challenging jobs. Loctite, trusted performance, proven results.
The company that I work for is a company that engineers and designs water features, both static and interactive, such as ones that you would find in Las Vegas. I never thought I'd be where I'm at today if I hadn't gone back to ITT Tech. It's a sense of accomplishment. It's a sense of fulfillment.
Well, I think it was a good idea for him to go back to school. Gives us some inspiration.
Nothing in life that's worth having is easy. And it's never too late to start to go to school. It's what's going to open doors for you. Education is what's going to allow you to become what you want to be.
We are educators helping people build a foundation for the rest of their lives. ITT Technical Institute, education for the future. Call 1-800-488-3652 or visit us on the web.
Able to clean up the wreckage from Sergio Pena's car. And we're back in line, ready to go once again. Ryan Truex on the bottom of the racetrack.
A couple cars came down pit road. Matt Kobaluk, Max Gresham both came down pit road. A nice restart, though, by Ryan Truex.
Ryan Truex jumps to the outside line early on. Able to stay in front of Kevin Swindell in the number 9. Now they're 3 wide for second.
Ryan Gifford takes a look to the inside of Ty Dillon. Not able to make the move yet. He's still there, though.
3 wide for third. Ryan Gifford on the inside. Ty Dillon drops back. Darrell Wallace Jr. on the outside.
Here comes Eddie McDonald. Oh,
Eddie McDonald contact. Ty Dillon checks up. Eddie McDonald keeps it straight. 3 and 4 wide coming out of turn 4.
Comes Brett Moffitt on the outside. Andrew Ranger on the inside. Eddie McDonald lost all his momentum off of turn number 4.
Dustin Delaney in the 39 on the outside. He's trying to make it work.
Moves around the outside of the 60 of DJ Shaw.
And everybody catches their breath as we're just 2 wide now going down the back stretch. There's Andrew Ranger.
About 4 rows deep, though, 2 wide.
Andrew Ranger on the bottom of the racetrack. Brett Moffitt on the outside. They're battling for 7. I think this is what the Sprint Cup Series likes so much about double file restarts.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the best things we've done in a long, long time.
DJ Shaw on the inside of Dustin Delaney. Shaw can't keep the speed up, and Delaney can't keep the car down. Now Moffitt loses the spot to Andrew Ranger.
DJ Shaw fights back to the inside of Dustin Delaney in the 39. There's Eddie McDonald trying to regroup after losing all his momentum there. Drew Brannon into 52. Looks to the outside of Eddie McDonald. Now Eddie's going to pull up to the inside of the 39 of Dustin Delaney, but the 60 of DJ Shaw is already there. Make it 3 wide, maybe.
Trying to make it 3 wide as they go into turn number 1. Eddie McDonald dropping back.
Dustin Delaney goes way wide, going to lose that spot. Ooh, trouble.
That's the 18 of Max Gresham. He spun in turn 4. Keeps it straight, though. Wow, what a difficult day for Gresham.
Came in here 4th in points. That's a couple different incidents here. He does stay on the lead lap if he can. Oh, no caution flag.
No caution. Smoking now a little bit from the 18.
We stay green for now.
So Gresham trying to get back onto pit road. But he's staying on the bottom of the racetrack trying to stay out of the line.
Left rear tire is down on that 18 car. Probably cut that left rear tire down is what caused him to spin over there in turn 4.
Ryan Truex coming out of turn number 4. He holds on to the top spot. Kevin Swindell just behind him in the 9 car. He is about 6 car lengths back, though.
A good battle for third behind these 2 cars. The 6 of Darrell Wallace Jr. and the 2 of Ryan Gifford. There they are coming off turn number 2.
Darrell Wallace Jr. now with a car length, 2 car lengths between he and 4th place. The 2. Gifford trying to make the move back to the inside, though, as he charges into turn 3.
And remember, those 2 drivers are, oh, caution on the racetrack.
This will be for debris coming from Max Gresham's race car. So he left a bit of tire wear, I believe, after he had problems coming out of turn number 4, but he made it back to pit road. A very difficult day for Max Gresham. A great day for Ryan Truex out front.
July 11th, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series thunders into the Hawkeye State for door-to-door, lightning-fast, full-contact excitement. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series live from Iowa, July 11th at 1:30 Eastern, only on Speed.
Okay, well, we got all the loan documents taken care of for your new car. All I need now is just a copy of your insurance card.
Just a moment.
What is he doing?
Getting an online insurance quote from the General.
Need auto insurance right now? Log on to thegeneral.com for a low rate, low monthly payment, and a down payment as low as $59.
You'll also get instant proof of insurance. For the best car insurance rates online, go to the General and save some time.
When Fido gets frisky, the stuffing starts flying, and the house is a mess. Introducing Crazy Critters. These durable, stuffing-free plush animals are made especially for dogs. They're a full 24 inches long and come complete with squeakers in the head and tail. These playful critters are made of reinforced, super strong plush fur that can stand up to the toughest dog, providing hours of safe, healthy fun. Call now and receive the friendly Fox Crazy Critter for just $20. But wait, call right now and we'll cut the price in half. That's just $10. And as a super bonus, we'll also send you the Rugged Raccoon. Just pay separate shipping and handling. That's both the friendly fox and the Rugged Raccoon for just $10. But you have to call now.
Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-718-8252. But call now and get a bonus second Crazy Critter with today's order. So call 1-800-718-8252. That's 1-800-718-8252. Call now.
This one's scheduled to go 125 laps, and we're closing in on the final 5 laps. Ryan Truex, Kevin Swindell, 1 and 2. Truex on the inside once again. Green flag back in the air. Truex with another great start.
This could be the most critical start of the race for him. He does a great job. Actually can take the line he wants through 1 and 2.
Kevin Swindell, though, not giving up, battling back, trying to stay right on that rear bumper.
Darrell Wallace Jr. now up in the 3rd position. Alan Tardif, that 38 car, in a tight battle for 4th with Ryan Gifford.
Ryan Gifford on the outside, Tardif on the inside. Here comes Moffitt in the 20 on the inside of Ty Dillon.
Good battle. They almost make contact in turn 4.
And very close as they go down the front stretch. Tardif just in front of Gifford. Here comes Gifford to the inside, trying to take the position away. Slow car on the racetrack, Jonathan Smith. No caution.
He's made some contact with the wall. Meanwhile, Ryan Gifford moves to the inside of Alan Tardif.
Tardif on the outside, Gifford on the inside. Gifford trying to take the position.
It's a battle for the 4th position. Gifford has it.
Behind him, you see 2 and 3 wide. Corey LaJoie's going to make it 3 wide going into turn number 1.
It's on the inside of Andrew Ranger. Here comes Eddie McDonald on the outside.
McDonald has to slow because
they're
DJ
bouncing
Shaw
off each other.
Shaw had to check up. He gets into the wall coming out of turn number 2. He slows.
There goes Kobaluk, Sergio Pena. I think Sergio now is a lap down after all the trouble he's had today.
Sergio Pena still battling on the track, though, as he tucks in behind Kobaluk. There's the distance between 1 and 2. Ryan Truex is trying to check out on Kevin Swindell.
Trying to become the 3rd Truex family member to win here at Loudon. His father, Martin Sr., won, and Martin Jr.'s won here in the Nationwide Series as well as the East Series.
What an amazing feat that would be if Ryan Truex can hold on and make it a family affair here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Matt Kobaluk, the 40. He made a late pit stop. He's fought his way back up, racing now with the 71 of Eddie McDonald.
In front of them, the 52 of Drew Brannon. So we see Ryan Truex going down the backstretch. There's the distance between 1 and 2. Truex and Swindell. Again, Truex looking for his first win here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Swindell with an impressive run in that number 9. His best finish was 3rd at New Hampshire a year ago.
White flag's out. One more lap for Ryan Truex.
Ryan Truex, our point leader, trying to defend his point championship from a year ago, and he looks dominant here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. If he hangs on, it'll be his first win of the 2010 season. Could it happen at a racetrack where his father and brother before him have won in this series? Behind Truex, the battle continues for 6 between Ty Dillon and Alan Tardif. But coming out of turn number 4, Ryan Truex is going to win his first race of the 2010 season.
Kevin Swindell with his career best. Darrell Wallace Jr. with a nice 3rd. Ryan Gifford 4th. Brett Moffitt 5th.
Ty Dillon, Alan Tardif, Court LaJoie, Andrew Ranger, and Eddie McDonald are your top 10. But the man with the biggest smile on his face is the driver of the 00. Ryan Truex will be in victory lane.
Friday, NASCAR returns to Daytona, and we're there for live Sprint Cup qualifying. Then Kevin Harvick and Casey Kane bring the party to NASCAR trackside. Live coverage begins Friday at 4 Eastern with NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying.
Only on Speed.
I rely on my pit crew for a lot of things, both on and off the track. But when it comes to my cars, I take care of them myself because I know I'm going to do it right. And Armor All helps keep my car looking better, longer. Armor All, care for your car.
With up to twice the life and over 15 times more vibration resistance than traditional batteries, an Optima battery is perfect for whatever you and your vehicle are into. Look for its colored top and 6-pack shape at your local dealer.
NASCAR Home Tracks, where every lap of every race tells a story.
And welcome back to the New England 125. The checkered flag just going into the air, and that means that in victory lane is Ryan Truex. He's with Bob Dillner. Let's go down.
Ryan Truex climbing out in victory lane. The father and the 2 sons have now been victorious here at the Magic Mile. High fives all around to the crew, to his dad. His brother just came by, Mike Grieche, the crew chief. All right, I want to know, first of all, what it means to have your dad, your brother, and you all visit victory lane here at the Magic Mile.
No, I can't believe it. Hey, this is awesome. I don't know what to say. Just these guys, man, they just give me awesome cars every week. We should have won about 5 of them, but now we finally got one, and leading points, so that helped us out in points, and we're just doing great, man. I'm so happy to be here.
You grew up watching your dad and watching Martin, your brother, actually win races here. You won at the Magic Mile, man. What does that mean?
It's like the Daytona 500 to me. My dad's won here, my brother's won here, and now finally I'm one here. I'm so happy, I can't explain it.
Ryan Truex in victory lane here at New Hampshire.
I don't think you'll get that smile off his face for quite some time. If you take a look at the results, there's your top 10. Eddie McDonald, as Bob Dillner mentioned, was going to move to the front. Well, he got all the way to the 10th spot, but no further.
DJ Shaw had such a good car early, led early on, ended up with a 13th place finish.
Zach Germain, a top 20 finish. McKenna Bell involved in the incident early. Cole Witt had problems. A lot of drivers struggling to get around this racetrack. Difficult track to pass on, and nobody passed Ryan Truex for the point lead as he has been able to extend his lead over Darrell Wallace Jr. 33 points now separate those two.
Still the top 4 inside of 90 points.
Very impressive points battle we have here. Next race on Speed, it's Toyota Speedway at Irwindale for the West Series. That's Thursday, July 8th. Out front early on, it was Brett Moffitt. He looked to be the dominant car. Kevin Swindell had a strong one as well as he worked his way through the field. There were issues on the track, guys trying to get their cars in places that, well, sometimes wouldn't fit. But in the end, it was Ryan Truex who was victorious, taking the checkered flag in New Hampshire.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series is in Daytona for the Midsummer Classic. We are set for practice number 1 in preparation for Saturday evening's Coke Zero 400 powered by Coca-Cola. Good to have you with us for NASCAR on Speed as cars begin to roll for this practice session. Here is our weather, 87 degrees, high humidity, and a chance of rain. And you can see those storm clouds in the distance, and weather, a topic that we will have throughout this practice show. Good to have you with us, everyone, with Kyle Petty and Wally Dallenbach. I'm Adam Alexander. An in-pound race, Kyle, that means practice more important than ever, especially with rain in the area.
Well, you saw right as they rolled off, everybody rolled off as a group. When you come down here in February, these guys roll off one at a time to get those speed laps. Right now, they rolled off as a group. And this is a totally different racetrack in July. This is a handling racetrack in July. In February, it's always been a speed racetrack. It's a different place for them to come to.
So why is this place so different in the summer than it is back in February, Wally?
Well, you saw the temperature. That's one reason. And this track's hard to get a hold of, especially in the heat. And Kyle's absolutely right. These guys are going to be working on handling. It's not like Talladega where you can just peg the throttle and you just keep it there. You really have to work the throttle. You have to get the chassis working. This is a rough old racetrack. They're repaving this place after this race. It's got a lot of character, but they've really got to figure on getting some grip in these cars.
The other piece to the puzzle, we've got a spoiler this time around instead of a wing. Only one driver has won a plate race with a spoiler on it in this particular package. That's Kevin Harvick. More on him. Here's Matt Yoakum.
Adam, Kevin Harvick racing for redemption here at Daytona in July. Remember back in February, he dominated, led the most laps with this very race car, and then on the third green-white checker finish, picked the wrong lane at the wrong time and ended up finishing 7th. Now they've called an audible. They were going to spend more time in our practice session tonight at 6:30 on speed, but you can see over my shoulder, it's Chamber of Commerce weather, but if you follow me around and look to the west, you can see we've got some dark skies coming this way. Gil Martin concerned weather could wash out tonight's practice, so they're going to try to accomplish a lot in this practice session, trying to get the handle on that race car that they would tonight. Let's go across the garage to Marty Snyder, who's got some tools with him. Marty?
I do indeed, Matt, and a lot of drivers very anxious for this practice session because of this. The brand new restrictor plate, it is 3/32 of an inch bigger than the plate we had here in February, and you can see that very little bit of difference is, believe it or not, 40 horsepower to these cars. It's actually 60 more horsepower than they had at Talladega using a different plate there. But this brand new plate, how will it affect the racing, especially when cars are in the draft? Talked to Greg Biffle. He said cars will certainly pull up to other cars very quickly. This practice session, we have to learn how quickly that will happen. Adam?
They didn't waste any time, did they?
No. I couldn't see that 3/32.
I couldn't either.
Maybe I'm blind.
It was an
I don't know.
illusion.
Yeah, it was an illusion right there. Poof. No, they didn't waste any time getting in a pack, but you had to. You know, when you're talking about it being an impound race, when you talk about some of the stuff, these guys have to get what track time they can. Even though this is not going to be race condition, you see these guys are already 3 and 4 wide, guy below the yellow line there coming in. But, I mean, you got to get out there and see what your car is going to do with this package at this racetrack, because just as they said, one guy's won a race at a racetrack like this, or with the spoiler. Kevin Harvick, that's Talladega. That's wide open. Got nothing to do really with handling. This is all about handling again.
See cars diving below the yellow line. Doesn't matter in practice. You can do whatever you want in that situation. But on Saturday night, that double yellow line out of bounds. You advance your position down there. You better give it back, or NASCAR will hand out a penalty.
And you know, we're watching the speeds across the top of the screen here. And let me be real clear. They mean absolutely nothing. Nothing
Zero.
at all. Yeah, even the teams don't care about the speeds at this point in time. All they care about is, does my car pull up in the draft? Can my car lead a draft? What does my car feel like side by side? What does it feel like on the inside? What does it feel like in the middle? It's got nothing to do. If this was a qualifying time, you'd be really concerned with that. But for everybody at home, these times mean nothing. It really is about where you're at in the pack.
Yeah, and you see a couple guys there. You saw the one car in the middle, and these guys all have to figure out, they have to actually put themselves in different situations right now to see how their car is going to handle. because, you know, everything's different right now. So you saw the one car stuck in the middle. He didn't want to stay there that long, so he must not have liked it very much.
But let's go back to the beginning of the year. Let's go back to February when we came here with the wings and with a different size plate, and the closure rate was so great. We saw a couple of accidents in the first or second practice where these guys just ran over each other because the closure rate. That's what they talked about at Talladega with the spoiler, is the closure rate is so much greater. So you see these guys kind of having a little bit of that accordion effect when they get to the corner sometimes. You see them backing up and boxing up a little bit.
Well, so far, it looks like the closing rate is just about the same. I mean, you see these guys laying back, and all of a sudden they gain on the guy in front of them really quick.
All the way back now. Too wide all the way back.
On board with Tony Stewart. He's won 3 of the last 5 July races here at Daytona, including 1 year ago, that dramatic finish coming to the line when he and Kyle Busch connected.
You see these cars to the left, below the yellow line. When you come off turn 2 like that, the majority of the drivers will pull to the left and get out of the way if they're in a pack. And that's just a signal.
Off the throttle there.
Yeah, and that's you heard him get out of it. But you know, and this is one of those things, and you know that, Wally. You used to run here, and you could almost count the lap that your car was going to quit working. You could put tires on, and you could run wide open, and it'd go 10 laps, 12 laps, and then all of a sudden, boom, you drive off in a corner, and you better be getting out of it.
Sprint Cup cars have been on practice for 5 minutes. Still plenty of time to get it tuned in here at Daytona.
£600 of salmon breath. You in? 5th generation 4Runner. Sucker punched by a big fish. You in? 5th generation 4Runner.
Happy July 4th weekend. Come into Lowe's today and kick off your holiday with a bang. Paint the town red, white, and blue with Valspar paint. Get $5 off gallon-sized cans via mail-in rebate, including Valspar's new signature paint with high-def color. And impress your guests with 15% off in-stock Pergo laminate flooring. So head to Lowe's this July 4th and find everything you need to enjoy your weekend. Experience Lowe's. Let's build something together.
0 to 300 in under 4 seconds. Can't beat that.
Well, actually, you can at Copart.com.
You're right. Copart.com has over 50,000 vehicles online to choose from every day. Everything from classic cars, trucks, motorcycles, you name it.
That's what makes Copart.com the virtual auction.
Copart.com.
That's where car guys get cars.
And nothing flat.
Some athletic uniforms are designed to wick away moisture. Other uniforms are made to wick away 500-degree flames.
Speed's presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup practice from Daytona, brought to you by Toyota, by Loctite Adhesives and Sealants, trusted performance, proven results, and by Atlanta Motor Speedway. Night racing returns to Atlanta Motor Speedway for the largest Labor Day weekend celebration in the country. Mark your calendars for September 4th and 5th. We told you when we opened our show there was some weather in the offing, and it's serious. Thunderstorm warnings being issued not far from here, and we do anticipate this practice will see some precipitation. So that is why you see the activity on track you do now.
I think it'll be a while before the heavy stuff gets here.
Yeah.
Thanks, Carl.
Yeah, and let's say this, for all the fans who weren't fans before about 1985 or 6, they used to run this race. They used to run all the practices, qualifying, everything was done in the mornings, and the guys would go back to the beach in the afternoons. This was a 10 o'clock race. The Firecracker 400 at the time, which is now the Coke Zero 400, was a 10 o'clock race in the morning. You were back on the beach by 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
That was a nice schedule.
That was a nice schedule, man. A nice schedule.
Riding here with Joey Logano.
Let's see if we can. Well, he's kind of in the back of the pack there, but let's just kind of see if he's working the throttle like some of those other guys.
Logano is quickest in practice. Excuse me, Wally.
Earlier, whoever it was got way out of the throttle as he comes down the backstretch.
That's Greg Biffle passing to the inside of Joey Logano. Now something on Mark Martin. Let's go to Marty Snyder.
Yeah, Adam Wally was talking about how rough this racetrack is, and indeed it is a little too rough for Mark Martin. He went out, and they were bottoming out so bad on the splitter, he only ran a couple of laps. They were working on the splitter a moment ago, but what Alan Gustafson said is we tried to go with a setup that would give you a little more downforce in this race, but it's making it go almost too low to the ground. So now they're going to kind of go back towards their February setup, which they think will be a little more comfortable for Mark, but may not be the fastest thing out there. So it's always a balance, isn't it, guys? You want it to be comfortable for the driver out there, but especially with the Sioux splitter, you can't be bottoming out on the racetrack either.
It's got to be comfortable, and you know that's obviously not good for the splitter. It's not good for the track either. No. We don't want to see these cars banging off this racetrack because we saw what happened in February with the big pothole. But just looking at practice, Kyle, I'm just picking some cars out of the pack. To me, these guys look like they have their hands full.
They have their hands full. You saw the 48 car go in on the bumper of the 1 car, drift up the racetrack, and the 42 right behind him could almost turn left on him. And it is. You see the splitters bouncing around. You see these cars bouncing around a little bit. But at the same time, these guys are hanging on. I don't know what setups they have on these things, but it appears to be fairly stiff.
Yeah, you watch the splitters, and they're just pounding the racetrack. And it's really, really bad in 1 and 2. That's probably where it's the roughest. It used to be a pretty big hole or a bump in 4. But 1 and 2 is really where you see the cars jumping up off the ground.
And that's James. This is 3 and 4. That's
single file now.
Even there, that's a pretty. I mean, you look at the difference between the splitter being looks like 3 or 4 inches up and then just crushing the ground. Now you come across the start-finish line, and then going down into turn 1, you'll see the same thing. And that last lap, the 2 car there, Kurt Busch, he hit pretty hard. He was down low, and I mean that car looked like it really pounded the racetrack. It's up on the high side this time. But don't forget when the car's doing all that, the car's moving around, and then you want to throw the draft in on top of that, which even makes the cars, move around even more. So I tell you what, these guys they're gonna have their work cut out for them on Saturday night.
Yeah, you saw the 48 split those cars there, the slower car that was just pulling out of the pits there, and get a little bit loose there.
Jamie McMurray leading this pack around. A familiar scene for him, being out front at Daytona. He was the man that won here in February, his 2nd victory at this track. In fact, if you go back to last November at Talladega, he has won 2 of the last 3 restrictor plate races. And if it was not for an incredible move by Kevin Harvick, amazing timing on the final lap at Talladega, McMurray would have claimed the hat trick, winning the last 3 races at these kinds of facilities.
Yeah, and you go back to that great move by Kevin Harvick. And it was reminiscent of Ronnie Bouchard and those guys who have made that same move, all during the 70s and 80s. It just went away with these cars and with the cars that we had in the past, but that move seems to be back, and it'll be interesting to have that move and have that in your bag of tricks to be able to draft out around somebody and get around somebody down here with the spoiler.
Can you practice the timing and simulate a final lap here to kind of set yourself up so if you're in position on Saturday night, you know what you're up against trying to win this thing?
I think you can practice it, but there's so many other things that come into play, like who's behind you and who you're racing with and racing around, what kind of run you have. You can practice it all day long, but it doesn't always work the way you practice it when it comes down to being the real deal.
Yeah, you go out and you can run and you can draft up on somebody and pull out and you think, oh, my car's really good. And then you get down to that last lap and it's like, where'd my car go, man? I couldn't do anything because it's a totally different set of cars. It's incredible. I mean, it's a lot different. You see Biffle here. I thought Biffle had one of the cars to win the Daytona 500 in the green-white checker. He just got shuffled out.
Biffle got his first career win here at Daytona. He's one of those drivers you see in the top 10.
My kind of track. Chicagoland Speedway's NASCAR weekend packages are on sale now, so call 888-629-RACE or visit chicagolandspeedway.com and get in on the sports experience that won't let you down. Chicagoland Speedway, my kind of track.
I've been racing with Lucas Oil products for over a decade.
Gonna go green.
I put Lucas Oil products under the most abusive testing ground where failure's not an option.
2 more turns.
Motors, trannies, differentials, power steering, everything in that truck is Lucas Oil. With 87 wins and 7 championships, Lucas Oil is not just my sponsor, they're my advantage.
Good job, Paul. Awesome job.
The results speak for themselves.
The challenge makes you stronger.
Every day, every moment.
You want my belt? Come and get it.
So, you want to be a fighter? This is how. Rated T for teen.
NASCAR on TNT is back this summer. 6 explosive races fueled by intense competition. The Summer Series on.
NASCAR on TNT is brought to you by Mercury Insurance. Low rates, supercharged service, and protection from the unexpected. You get it all with Mercury. Get a fast free quote at mercuryinsurance.com.
NASCAR returns to Daytona to celebrate America's independence. We're here as Kevin Harvick and Casey Kane stop by the ultimate Friday night house party. Don't miss NASCAR Trackside from Daytona. It's tomorrow, 11 Eastern, only on Speed.
Like this shot right here, the 31 car coming around the outside. He just got to run getting in the corner, but these guys are coming in. But this is the funny part about this racetrack is the high side will work, the low side will work if your car works. If you can run it wide open, it doesn't make any difference. The thing here is running lap after lap. And these guys, we've already heard them out here 4 or 5 times. Let's listen to him a little bit and see if he can run wide open by himself. Because when you can't run wide open by yourself, you're really in trouble.
Tell you what, he's driving that thing. He's going down the straightaway now, but you can see how much wheel he's working in this car. It's not a Sunday drive on this racetrack. This is going down into turn 3.
Yeah, he's just wide open right now. And that's good. You got to get your car where you can drive wide open. Because if you get caught out of the draft, he's coming in now. There's no reason, when you get caught out there by yourself like that, there's no reason to ride around and just waste laps once you know your car's working okay by itself.
That's Jeff Burton on track. He's won here, and so has Tony Stewart, Marty.
And guys, the last time we saw Tony Stewart with the Burger King car here at Daytona, it was in Victory Lane in this race last year. And you can add weather to the list of things drivers are chasing, because the guys, when we started this practice session, it was hot and sunny. We were all talking about how hot it was, and we've told you about the rain that is on the way. That has changed the racetrack as well. Tony said the car way too tight to get a feel for it, so they're going to try and loosen him up a little bit before they send him back out. Matt.
And Marty down here in the 29 garage of Kevin Harvick, the car's on jack stand. So, looking at the in-cars, a lot of drivers have their hands full. How about yourself?
Yeah, I think that's pretty normal. Our car's not 100% right, but it's not bad either. So, it's hard to tell with everybody blending and coming and going, and you can get yourself in trouble a lot faster when it first goes out there and the pack's not all blended together like that. But all in all, our Shell Pennzoil Chevy was decent, but still need to do some work getting in the corner.
A lot of anticipation about the new COT Nationwide car. You've been practicing that. The Ream car, how is it for tonight? Tomorrow night?
Yeah, well, it hasn't been bad. It's driving pretty good, which is what we were shooting for. It's not the fastest car for a couple laps, but you got to have them driving good, and as difficult as it is to get a hold of the racetrack.
And by the way, behind me, while Harvick's team is working on his car, Eric Almirola is going to be getting in the 48 machine of Jimmy Johnson shortly. Remember, Johnson on baby watch here in the 48 garage.
And the plan I heard earlier today with that team, Matt, was send Jimmy Johnson out early. If the car feels good and is handling well, get Jimmy out as he takes off the helmet and enter Eric Almirola, who is the driver on standby. Perhaps we'll see Eric in action when we return. 17 minutes into a scheduled hour and 20-minute session at Daytona.
Tonight, who will follow in the footsteps of Petty, Johnson, Earnhardt, France Sr., and France Jr.? Find out as the nominees for the second class of the NASCAR Hall of Fame are unveiled exclusively on NASCAR Race Hub. Tonight at 8 Eastern, only on Speed.
We just tested Quaker State motor oil that had driven thousands of miles in New York City taxis. And that used Quaker State still passed these critical tests for brand new oil, even when it's ready to be replaced. Quaker State, real, durable oil.
So, I've arranged for a rental car to be dropped off at your house. You sure you got everything out of your car?
I think so.
Let's get you home.
Why do drivers 50 and over switch to the Hartford? The only auto insurance program endorsed by AARP? More than savings and benefits. We handle the problems you'd expect. And the ones you never knew you had.
You don't know how much this means to me. I'm serious, thank you.
It's my pleasure.
The AARP Auto Insurance Program from the Hartford.
The adhesive brand trusted by dads is the same adhesive brand trusted by pit crews. For over 50 years, Loctite has formulated adhesive products for some of the world's most challenging jobs. Loctite, trusted performance, proven results.
July 11th, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series thunders into the Hawkeye State for door-to-door, lightning-fast, full-contact excitement. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series live from Iowa, July 11th at 1:30 Eastern, only on Speed.
Welcome back, everyone, to Daytona International Speedway with Kyle Petty and Wally Dallenbach. Go ahead.
I want to go back to the 48. You know, I was in the delivery room with my first, and I got cussed out so bad after the first one, I never went back. I don't know about you. So it's nice she's going to be there for the first one, but boy, she was mad at me.
Yeah, mine said just send a check. Okay, that was it. End the conversation.
And here moments ago, Johnson getting out of the car and Almirola getting in. It does help that these two are similar in size when you talk about fitting a seat and making this transition, does it not?
Well, yeah, because you can't move the steering wheel. There's no driver comfort there as far as, like in road racing and stuff when you had driver changes, you had seat inserts, there was a lot of things you could do. You really can't do anything in these cars a whole lot. So it's very important that, yes, once you get in, the steering wheel's close to the other driver, pedals, and all that.
More with Marty Snyder.
And that was the official practice of driver change. Just so you guys, in case you want to know, Jimmy pulled in, had his full belts on. Chad Knaus wanted to time it, so Jimmy had to undo his whole belts. And Wally, how many times have you done this in your career? Hop out, and Eric Almirola hop in and get his belts buckled, and then he gave the high sign to Chad. That was the signal to stop the watch. 1 minute and 3 seconds. And I think that's pretty good driver change, isn't it, Wally? In any driver world, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's excellent, especially because you got to hook up hoses, you got to hook up the radios. There's a lot to it than just jumping in the seat. So that's a very good stop. They can do that under caution and not lose a lap. That's right. What the whole thing is.
And even if it takes them, even in Cup cars, if it takes them 2 times coming in to make sure Eric's in and Eric needs to be where he's at, it's not going to be a big deal because they're going to lose so many positions trying to change drivers no matter what under caution.
Right here as well. If you see the 99.
There is nothing worse. You saw as these guys drive off in turn 1, 2 wide, and then those cars coming out the pits, and you're running 190 right here, and those cars coming out the pits are running 85.
You're clear.
That 100-mile-an-hour difference, and you're in the middle, and you're saying, "Oh, please don't come down on me, man, and force me over into that inside." That is the worst thing coming out of here. That's one of the spookiest things.
I'll tell you, it sounds like these cars. Now, like I said, there's a lot of throttle work, but the cars seem like you can really make some ground up. They're moving around a lot. We're sitting here riding with Kyle, but it seems like if he wanted to go to the high side and make it 3 wide, he could do it anytime he wanted because he wasn't full throttle coming down the backstretch.
And you saw him right there. He runs in, bumps the 77 a little bit, lets him go before he gets into the corner, and you heard him roll out of the gas right after he hit him. But you see how with these cars and with this plate being a little bit bigger, he can roll out, get back in it, and he really doesn't lose anything. Used to, that was the worst feeling in the world.
99 would
to roll
into the 43.
To roll into the corner and have to drag that thing and slow it down, and then it took a lap to get caught back up.
Yeah, because if you drug the brake, or like you said, if you got out of the throttle just a little bit, it was like you get passed by 7 or 8 cars.
And I'm going to say, we're being rude and talking over all these spotters, but that's the spotters that are talking. You think practice is important for these drivers. Practice is important for these spotters, too, because they get back into that cycle of what it's like to be inside, outside, 3 wide, coming out of the pits. There's going to be a car that far in front of him. You know, we haven't had that the last 2 or 3 races. The restrictor plate races are so unique and such different animals unto themselves that the spotters have to get back into that swing on how to call a race.
And these races you have to drive defensively as much as you do offensively, because you've got to have a second pair of eyes out there, not only what's around you but what's coming. Six car gets turned,
around.
And there he goes.
And the 18. Oh, here's 11 right down in the middle of it.
Hamlin able to get back down and avoid the action. David Reagan got turned around. Kyle Busch, wrong place at the wrong time.
Coming to you.
And the
just going to mention, Busch has not had a good run lately. Struggled late last week in New Hampshire and problems at Sonoma 2 weeks ago.
Hit the wall, but we probably
got
a splitter and all
first, but he was one of those cars that looked really, really loose early.
He's sideways right there.
Yeah. So he had been struggling with that even earlier, because he was one of the guys I saw in the pack that looked like his car was really loose.
And the 18, you see the 18 never got to him, never got into him. I don't know who that is behind the 18, but it's like he gets hit. The 18, right, it almost looked like the 18 got tapped by the 99, and you can't tell from that angle. That's a bad angle, but when the 6 got loose, the 18 had no place to go.
David Reagan has become quite a restrictor plate racer. Some of his best runs have been at Daytona and Talladega, and that car appears to be junked up pretty good.
Yeah, that's a backup.
I'm not sure on Busch. It didn't look like he had too many problems, but the cars are so sensitive here, it's hard to know for sure.
And that's what I was going to say. With NASCAR, with the you see him, obviously he's a little aggravated right there as he snatches his radio connection out. But the problem with these cars, you see the left rear's caved in a little bit. Yeah, but you see the side of this car is caved in, and as the thing comes down across the racetrack, it moves the splitter, so there's no way this car is going to be racing. But you see the 6 go in the corner here. He's up on the high side. He turns down a little bit, and he's sideways right there. He's already loose. The 18 is right there trying to stay off. But look at the closure rate on the 99 right there. And you see the 18 still going straight, and then boom, the 18 starts to turn left, which indicates from this angle that the 99 may have just tapped him a little bit, or he gets on the brakes so hard the thing comes around on him. Yeah.
So we've seen it from several angles. Now we ride with Kyle Busch into turn 3.
Yeah, he's already
sideways.
He hit him the second time after he got hit by Carl.
Yeah, and it's hard to say whether Carl got into him. You know, we don't have a good camera shot. It doesn't make any difference. It does, I mean, those 2 guys were going around no matter what.
Busch really did a heck of a job to stay off of Reagan once he started going around, but it became unavoidable.
But you see little places like this. These are the things that happen when you slide down off the racetrack.
Yeah, but I think this spot right here by the A, that's a shot from Carl's bumper right there. Right next to the Toyota.
That corner, the way that corner's drug up, when you say, oh, the guy just spun down off the racetrack, nothing's really wrong with his car. Well, you start looking at little things like this, which jacks up the right rear corner. You start looking at the front valence, which moves it about 3/4 of an inch or something. Next thing you know, obviously, you'd keep racing it if you were in a race, but for these guys, the best thing to do is just go get their stuff.
The other part of this equation is with rain in the area, how much more practice time will these teams get, or will they get any at all if, in fact, they go to a backup car? Joey Logano quickest under caution at Daytona.
Friday, NASCAR returns to Daytona, and we're there for live Sprint Cup qualifying. Then Kevin Harvick and Casey Kane bring the party to NASCAR trackside. Live coverage begins Friday at 4 Eastern with NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying. Only on Speed.
A lot has changed over the years in how you make a vehicle go fast. But one thing hasn't changed: Sunoco's proven performance. Today, we continue to focus on quality and performance and are proud to fuel champions in just about anything that races. Fueling victories every week, every race, every win. The Sunoco Free Fuel 5000 is back. Get your decal at Sunoco for a chance to win 5,000 gallons of gas.
The just bought our first home.
But it has some stains on the walls.
That's why we choose Kills Primer.
Painting my new fence. Need to block the wood grain from showing through. I choose Kills Primer.
For covering bold colors, I choose Kills.
I never ask a paint to do a primer's job. Priming first gives me better results with fewer top coats. I choose Kills Primer.
Homeowners and pros know that a little prep goes a long way, especially when you're using the #1 primer in the U.S. Kills. It's the perfect start to a great finish.
How do you get to be the leader of the pack? Simple. Out push, pull, and lift everybody else. Oh, and a herd of beefed up friends sure doesn't hurt. So let's forget one size fits all and go with a take-your-pick line of powerhouses. Then slap on a 5-year powertrain warranty like you mean it. Well, neighbor, take a good look at the #1 selling tractor in the world. The Hindra.
Saturday, the Rolex Sports Car Series explodes like Independence Day fireworks as the Red Hot Ganassi team shoots for win number 6. And in GT, the Turner Motorsports team hopes to drive their BMW M6 to a second consecutive victory. Don't miss the Rolex Sports Car Series from Daytona, Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed. That looks nice, huh, Wally?
Is that our new car, Kyle?
I don't know, is it?
Nobody will give us a ride, so we got to go buy one.
We got to go buy one or beg for one. There you go.
This one in better shape than David Reagan's ride right now, Marty.
Yeah, we're moving over so David Reagan's team can push his backup car by us. What happened on that, David?
I don't know. I'll have to see a replay. I remember going into turn 3, 3 wide. The 18 was right there on the bottom. And looks like, just ever so slightly touched us, maybe just a little bit. The cars are, it's hot and slick. It's Daytona in July. And it's a shame for our UPS team. We always seem to run really well down here, and I hate it for our guys back home at the shop in Concord because they put a lot of effort into our Daytona, our Speedway program. But our backup car is the one we finished 6th with in Talladega. So it's a shame to get it out. That's no fun, but hopefully we can get a few more laps and we'll be all right.
I saw you debriefing there. What did you learn in the couple laps in your car?
Well, actually, our first run, we had a right front tire go down, and so we had to come in and put a new set of tires on it. So, the track's hot and slick, and certainly grip is at a premium. So we just, I don't think we made any adjustment at all. We just put 4 new tires on and went back out. So our car will have some speed, but it's just a shame to tear one up this early.
Thanks, man.
Thank
Matt?
And over in the 18 garage, NASCAR just moments ago gave the team permission to push their primary off to the side and pull out their backup car, which just now came off the lift gate. And Dave Rogers and Wesley Sherrill, the crew chief and car chief, they've got a game plan of what they want to take off the old car and put on their new car before the 6:30 practice session tonight. So they do have some time to get this backup car ready for its race conditions.
Yeah, you saw the damage on the left front fenders. There's more damage, and that's off of the banking. Once you come off the banking and you hit the apron, these cars are so low that when that splitter hit the apron, it just buckled everything. You see everything right here on the fender.
Yeah, look how that left front fender is
a lot
just
of work there.
Yeah, it looks like somebody's just took and beat it with a baseball bat. You know what I mean? But as you say, a lot of that is as it comes down off the bank. The whole car, the way these cars are built today, and the way one piece is connected to the next, it's not like it used to be. All this stuff it's so connected that if you move the front, it moves the rear. That's not the way the cars used to be. The cars weren't that way. And you could get away with some of this stuff and slap another nose on, but you see all his front braces are just sheared where the thing came down off the racetrack.
Cleanup is complete for the incident over in turns 3 and 4 with Kyle Busch and David Reagan, and here we go again. This time it's going to be Michael Waltrip teammates Martin Truex Jr., David Rudiman taking the high line, and Ryan Newman, Regan Smith, Marcus Ambrose, the drivers down on the inside portion of the track.
Lined up tight outside.
Newman won the
all 2x2.
08 Daytona 500 here. You're on board with him right now.
Hello?
Really struggled here since that time.
You heard him.
He's still up there. There's a 4-car length hole behind him if he gets by us.
You heard him roll out of it just a touch.
Help. He's about 6 back. Outside closing up, 3 back, up high.
Right about the time they went 3 wide with Tony coming out of the pits right there.
Wow. pretty good shot there. Loudon
Yeah.
gave Rudiman. And you got to make sure you do that early enough to where you can get a guy off the guy's bumper. If you do that going into the corner, you're going to turn a guy sideways. So it's okay to hammer somebody. You got to make sure they've got enough room to save the car before they have to turn the wheel.
Top of three, 2 wide. 20's got some help down there. All clear.
Man, I'll tell you what, he had a pretty good run going there, going in the corner.
Catching slow traffic
now
here.
He's gonna get
outside quarter.
Just get through there. But you don't want to see. That's what you don't want to see when you're coming into a corner. Is a bunch of slow cars down on the bottom. And that cost him a little bit.
That cost him because he had enough run to clear those guys, but he had to feather just enough that he wasn't really sure whether it was going to stick or not. Now you see he's checked up here just a little bit. I thought he was going to get on the back of Burton right there because he almost checked up just enough to let Burton up in line.
And if you notice, when they were coming down, Rudiman didn't give him a whole lot of room. He almost pushed him down there behind Burton's car. And that's a dirty trick, but it's smart because you know you take the run away from the guy.
And you question and you say, well, why would somebody do that in practice? Because they want to see what their car is going to feel like when they do it to somebody in the race. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. And understand, and we can't stress this enough, this is the first time they've been to Daytona with the spoiler package. They were down here earlier in the year and they had the wings. Now they're back with the spoiler, so they've got to go through that whole cycle of what does my car feel like with a spoiler at Daytona.
09 car, 4th in line on the bottom. That's Bobby Labonte driving for James Finch this weekend. Joey Logano at the top of the board in practice.
Tonight, who will follow in the footsteps of Petty, Johnson, Earnhardt, France Sr., and France Jr.? Find out as the nominees for the second class of the NASCAR Hall of Fame are unveiled exclusively on NASCAR Race Hub. Tonight at 8 Eastern, only on Speed.
Imagine if you could keep your engine as close as possible to factory clean. Introducing new Pennzoil Ultra, a revolutionary new synthetic oil that takes clean where it's never been before. Nothing feels like a factory clean engine, and nothing keeps you closer to factory clean than new Pennzoil Ultra motor oil. Get Pennzoil Ultra now at participating O'Reilly Auto Parts stores nationwide.
Have a structured settlement or annuity? J.G. Wentworth says it's your money, use it when you need it.
He's right. It's my money and I need it now.
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 If you have a structured settlement and need cash now, call J.G. Wentworth for a free appraisal. There's no obligation.
It's your money. Use it when you need it.
Call 866-593-0612.
To me, power is more than just an amazing serve. It's confidence, attitude, expression, glamour. Be bold enough to show the world who you are, on and off the court.
Serena Williams and HSN, a perfect match.
Let's make our statement in style.
Discover the exclusive Serena Williams Signature Statement Collection, only on HSN.
Preparations underway at Daytona for Saturday evening's running of the Coke Zero 400, powered by Coca-Cola. This an hour and 20-minute practice session. We've been on track for more than 30 minutes. And there you see Bobby Labonte. We talked about him prior to the break.
Oh, man, that 00 looked loose too just a second ago.
Sometimes these cars look like they get to the corner and they get a double handful of steering wheel and just snatch it off into the corner.
Wow,
look behind them. Look behind them right there. The Red Bull, which sent Matt down pit road. Matt had to avoid that to go down pit road. That's a wicked shot right there because Matt had to avoid the Red Bull car as he came off the wall and had no place to go. Couldn't get it walled down and had to go down pit road at speed.
Tell you, if I'm Rudiman, I'm looking for pit lane this next lap.
Reed Sorensen driving the Red Bull 83, the fourth different driver to get behind the wheel this season.
An old story. I was down here one time long many years ago, back forever, and I was driving, and I thought I was making good time. And I think it was Harry came over, and he said, man, he said, I thought you were going in the pits the first time. The second time you didn't go in the pits. He said, the third time I went in the pits. He said, you were out of control, man. And I'm like, I didn't know any better, you know. And that sometimes you get so comfortable with that thing being out of control. And I know that sounds crazy. You get so comfortable to it jumping around and moving around that you don't pay any attention to it. You see the really good guys, they'll come in and work on their stuff.
Greg Biffle in the garage with Marty Snyder.
Yeah, one of his goals, Adam, in the first run was to get as many laps as he could. He got 16 laps in the 16 car. Said he couldn't have any front grip or rear grip, so they're doing a pretty big chassis change. But inside, no changes in there. Biffle spent a lot of time working on the mirrors that he wanted in his car. You see the one big mirror right there helps him see on the right side. He also has a small one on the left side. 3 separate mirrors inside the 16 car so he can see pretty much everywhere. Because spotters can't do all the work, can they, guys? Matt?
And Marty, looking over the changes that we've got to this car coming back to Daytona, and Kurt Busch getting in his car now, talking over things with Steve Addington, told me the biggest change that he's noticed isn't with the rear spoiler and sucking up. He says it's more where it's side drafting appears to be more important. He says also at this juncture, it seems like you want to be, because these cars are just punching such a big hole in the air, you want to be in the line with the most cars versus the fewer cars like we saw at Talladega back in April. So it's going to be interesting as they learn more and more about this package here at Daytona.
The only one that has more mirrors in his home is Marty Snyder.
That's true. He's got full-length mirrors, though. But
water temp.
You see Joey glance
Water
up at
220, fan off.
You see Joey check the mirrors every now and then. Watch his head, and if you can see his eyes, watch his eyes. They'll glance up at that mirror to see where everybody's at. It's hard to really know. You have to have that spotter be your set eyes, because he's counting on that 77, trying to figure out if he's closing on him. He's looking at that left mirror to see where the 29 or some of those guys are, the guys on the inside.
It changes so fast.
It changed,
yeah. I mean, you look up in the mirror and you go down. You know, if you don't look back in the mirror 3 or 4 seconds, you know, they can be beside you. Yeah, I mean, that's why you've got to constantly be looking in the mirror.
Yeah, before you know it.
And the spotters, as we talked earlier, play such an important role here. But from a driver's perspective, you obviously need to know if they're outside, inside, where they are in relation to you coming from behind. But how important is it to know who those drivers are so you understand who you're racing with, Waller?
Well, it's important. But you know what? Getting back to the first part, the spotters are very important. But they're backup. You've got to know where these cars are, and you've got to be driving the car. You can't be relying on the spotter. They're a great backup. They're very important. As far as who you're racing with, absolutely. But these guys are finding out who they run the best with.
Yeah.
You know, there's always guys, when I went to restricted plate race, I was really comfortable with drafting, because I knew they wouldn't do anything stupid, and they knew I wouldn't do anything stupid, and they wouldn't hang out to dry. Yeah. There may be only 4 or 5 guys like that, but you're gonna run with different cars and get that comfort level, because Saturday's when it counts.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. In the end, I don't care if you've got 10 spotters. It's your responsibility. You're hanging on to that steering wheel. You know what I mean? You're the guy who's taking that information and process it. It's the spotter's job to give you the proper information, but you're the guy hanging on to the steering wheel.
Joey Logano has turned the quickest lap. He has also turned the most, 23 times around in this practice session.
We just tested Quaker State motor oil that had driven thousands of miles in New York City taxis. And that used Quaker State still passed these critical tests for brand new oil, even when it's ready to be replaced. Quaker State, real, durable oil.
Keep feeling fascination, passion burning, love is so strong.
Some suckers think my Night Elf Mohawk is a hoax, like Jackalopes or the moon landing. Well, it ain't. So I'm hunting them down with my latest invention, the Mohawk Grenade. Yeah, wherever I go, I'm making Warcraft look good. So don't give me no back talk. Try World of Warcraft free at warcraft.com.
Find a Night Elf Mohawk in-game and claim your Mohawk grenades.
Rated T for teen. I'm Mr. T and I'm a Night Elf Mohawk. What's your game?
Saturday, the Rolex Sports Car Series returns to Daytona, and the battles on the track are more explosive than a 4th of July firecracker. Celebrate the holiday weekend from Daytona, Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed.
patience. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Michael Annette, I haven't heard much about him.
Michael Annette, born June 23rd, 1986 in Des Moines, Iowa. In 09, he had 35 starts, 13 laps, led 4 top 10s. Favorite sandwich? Grilled cheese. No crust.
The NASCAR Nationwide Series. Get into it.
Yeah, hey, make it out to John from Trevor, number 99. Best career finish came at the very same race as my first career pole. Then it was on to Iowa, and it stopped running.
The NASCAR Nationwide Series. Get into it.
Saturday, NASCAR race day hits the high banks of Daytona, where Dale Jr., Ryan Newman, Juan Pablo Montoya, and Jamie McMurray join us live. Plus, we'll break down Dale Jr.'s recent turnaround as he makes a run at the chase. NASCAR race day, built by the Home Depot, live from Daytona. It's Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed. We told you going to break, Joey Logano was not only fast, but he was also aggressive. 23 times he has been around the track. David Rudiman joins him at the top of this list. And talk about guys not being complacent. Tony Stewart, Jeff Gordon, two of the best all-time here at Daytona, both logging plenty of laps as well.
Well, you really have to run as many laps. You don't know what the car is going to do after if you go out there and run 10 or 15 laps, you think the car feels good. That car is going to change a whole bunch from 10 laps to 20 laps or 25 laps. So you got to see what the car is going to do at the end of the run.
Yeah, what's amazing is we're 30, 40 minutes into the practice here, and you've got guys who have run 23 laps, 20 laps. They've been out multiple times. Yeah, looking at the board over here, when you look at Biffle ran 5 laps, 10 laps, 15 laps straight, one of his first time out. That's pretty impressive to think his car was comfortable enough that he felt confident going ahead and running the 15 laps and getting that 15-lap average and figuring, okay, this is where my car's at. We'll adjust from this point. Some of these other guys ran 5 or 6 laps. Jeff ran like 5 laps in a row and then came in, and he's been out multiple times, and that's why he's at the top at 20 laps or 23 laps.
Another important element here at Daytona is getting a good reading on fuel mileage, because we tend to talk about the draft and the excitement and the speed and so many things here, but the bottom line is this race has come down to that on multiple occasions.
And what's changed here since the 500? Spoiler to wing, or from wing to spoiler, and plate size. So you can take everything you learned down here in Daytona about the aero package and the fuel, and this car, the spoiler, these guys tell you all the time, it's got more drag. It's got a lot more drag, which is going to hurt your fuel mileage. We got a bigger plate, which is going to hurt your fuel mileage. So if we come down here and they were running whatever that number is, and let's pick a random number of 36, maybe they could run 36 laps before. They're going to drop down to 34, 32. So that totally changes the strategy of the race, and these guys start that today.
You look at where these guys are in relation to speed, and in the draft, top speeds, low 187 mile per hour range. Something else we'll likely see here on Saturday night, Wally, is green flag pit stops. It's hard to go from 187 to 55 miles per hour. Do you practice as a driver getting in that rhythm in the event we do see some green flag pit stops here?
I don't know how many drivers actually practice it. I mean, the new guys will, but it's tough because you come down off of 4 and you want to hurry to that line, that first timing line. These cars don't stop very well, and a lot of problems you'll have is getting in there and smoking a tire or just coming in too hot. Now, if you're changing all 4 tires, that's no big deal. But if you're going to change 2 tires, especially the right sides only, if you lock that right front up getting into the pit lane, then you've got to go to 4, and that completely changes your strategy and the team strategy.
See Kurt Busch leading this pack. Interesting combination here on Saturday night. He and his crew chief, Steve Addington. Addington had a lot of success with his younger brother, Kyle. Now those two paired together trying to get the Blue Deuce to victory lane here on Saturday evening.
July 11th, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series thunders into the Hawkeye State for door-to-door, lightning-fast, full-contact excitement. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series live from Iowa, July 11th at 1:30 Eastern, only on Speed.
Happy July 4th weekend. Come into Lowe's today and kick off your holiday with a bang. Make your weekend sparkle with 20% off Whirlpool brand appliances and 10% off other major appliances priced $397 or more. And get 12-month special financing on purchases of $299 or more when you use your Lowe's consumer credit card. That's a whole year. So head to Lowe's this July 4th and find everything you need to enjoy your weekend. Experience Lowe's. Let's build something together.
They laughed, sang, played, and murdered millions. It's the Nazis, a warning from history on DVD. Call now to get nearly 10 hours of shocking footage on 4 DVDs for just $39.99. Do it now and get free shipping. Look into the face of evil and try not to blink.
Call now to order Nazis, a warning from history for $39.99. Call now.
Yeah, I should know. Why should I go when everybody's trying? Tomorrow I don't know. Don't tell me you're sure about it. We can be strong. I say we can be strong. We can be strong. I say we can be strong.
Cup practice from Daytona brought to you by Camping World. Camping World's destination recreation sweepstakes is back and better than ever. Camping World offering more prizes and more chances to win. Visit campingworld.com and enter today. By Loctite, adhesives and sealants, trusted performance, proven results. And by Sprint, the Now Network. 43 minutes into practice. We are halfway home into this session. We send it down to Marty Snyder.
Yeah, Adam Denny Hamlin just came in a few moments ago. Likes the changes that Mike Ford has just made on the race car. Said it has much better grip, but he said in traffic, he said, quote, the steering wheel feels lighter, and he just can't make the progress in traffic that he wants to. I wonder if you guys can explain a little bit about the steering wheel feeling a little bit lighter for Denny, like he doesn't have as much grip when he's in traffic as he would like. But certainly, if you guys are going to get to the front, you're going to have to work traffic at some point in this race, aren't you, Kyle and Wally?
First, I like the tires. Those are pretty cool.
That is
Put your
cool.
troops on the tire. That is excellent idea. And yes, Marty, obviously he's tight or he's pushing. Usually when the steering wheel gets light, you can't feel the front end. It's not gripping into the racetrack. Big problem. Yeah, you've got to get some feel in a steering wheel, especially when you're in the draft, because there'll be times, even when your car is handling well, you'll get into a draft situation where cars are just placed at different places in the corners, and all of a sudden you'll lose the steering wheel. For some reason, you get no grip whatsoever. Here's a great shot right here of Jamie McMurray. But yeah, some guys like a light feel. I always like turn in the car. I always ran a lot of caster and a lot of stuff in the steering wheel.
Look at him. He takes his left hand off the steering wheel and just is resting it on his seat. Watch this right here.
Well, he better rest up because he's working in the corner.
Well, watch this. Then he gets to the corner, he picks it up off the seat, and he does it. I'm telling you, man.
Is he by himself, though?
Well, I don't know.
There was Harvick to the inside of it.
But I don't know if Harvick was just coming out of the pits. I don't know where he's at on the racetrack.
No, they're coming right here out of 4.
Look at him, and he drops it back down. Here he is running in a draft, and he's got... Well, he reached up and grabbed the steering wheel. He turned left on somebody. That's all right. But, I mean, that's pretty amazing that there he is. He drops it right back down when he gets to the corner for whatever reason.
That is weird.
That'd be interesting.
Like that.
We need to send somebody over there to ask him, hey, so what's up, man?
You know what? I know he was fishing with Kevin Van Dam this week. He could have been pulling in some big bass. Maybe his left arm is a little tired.
A little sore. Look at him. He just drops it down. That's pretty amazing. You see Bobby Allison do that. Bobby Allison would just wear you out, and he'd be driving around, and all of a sudden you'd see his elbow up on the wheel or up on the windowsill going down the straightaway. I'm like, my tongue's hanging out. How can he be driving with one arm on the steering wheel?
Yeah, but
Bobby did that.
A lot,
Bobby did that to mess with you, though. Bobby would do it to mess with you. He would do stuff like that and just brace himself or do stuff to make you think that he was just taking it easy.
Good shot of Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how many times have you been sideways at Atlanta? Just somebody got you sideways, and you still take your hand and stick it out the window and shake it at somebody. I've done that.
That's a communication factor. Oh,
yeah, but right when you're, he's not going to put his left hand down.
Yeah, you could. Kevin rolled out of that thing, turned left, turned right, turned left, turned right, and then said, "Okay, I've had enough out of this one. I'm coming back in." Yeah, but that's communication. When you want to communicate something right now, you want them to know it. It's okay to turn loose of the steering wheel.
Harvick's turned 15 laps in this practice. 13th is where he slots in on the speed chart. Talked about McMurray a moment ago, winning here in the Daytona 500.
Somebody's waving there.
Yeah, you saw him waving to let those cars go to the inside. That was a really good shot of communication with your hand. He came down the front, came off of turn 4 there, and I think that's the Air Force car. I don't know which car that is this week. It's the car at the back of the pack there. Is that the 9?
It looked like the 09 of Bobby Labonte, I believe.
Bobby's in the red car.
I thought
this is the blue car on the outside, all the way at the back.
I don't know why they got to change their
It's coming out every week. Yeah, I can't tell who that is.
It is
a 9.
Yep.
But as Casey came off turn 4,
no, it's not.
Elliott Sadler.
Elliott, as he came off turn 4, he stuck his arm out the window and he waved those guys off to go to the inside. Don't get in line behind me. I'm going to come in this time. And basically, he just wanted that clear track to give those guys room.
And Elliott just got on track. For a good portion of this practice, he and Michael McDowell had not been out. Elliott has only turned 2 laps.
Yeah, they must have had an issue.
Something's not right.
Yeah, they had an issue somewhere to go. For that team, as high up as they are in points, to go out this late in practice, they must have had some issue, either A, getting through inspection, or with some other mechanical issue that was a team issue. And obviously, whatever it was is not right to have only gone out and run a couple of laps.
Regan Smith in that 78 car has never had a top 10 finish in his career. His team, Furniture Row, has not recorded a top 10 finish. And
I thought he won Talladega.
He didn't win.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. I agree with you on that.
He won. They just didn't give it to him. He won the race.
Right.
All right.
But at the end of the day, he doesn't have a top 10 finish. You know what I'm saying? These are the stats I'm reading.
Tonight, who will follow in the footsteps of Petty, Johnson, Earnhardt, France Sr., and France Jr.? Find out as the nominees for the second class of the NASCAR Hall of Fame are unveiled exclusively on NASCAR Race Hub. Tonight at 8 Eastern, only on Speed.
Everyday life can be a long way from the racetrack. Not at Lucas. Our racing experience and technology is right there with you every day, in every bottle, no matter what you drive. Lucas is blended to make your vehicle perform at its best in every condition. Your engine will run cooler and longer with the confidence that all Lucas drivers have. With Lucas Oil, our racing experience is with you every day.
We just bought our first home.
But it has some stains on the walls.
That's why we choose Kills Primer.
Painting my new fence. Need to block the wood grain from showing through. I choose Kills Primer.
For covering bold colors, I choose Kills.
I never ask a paint to do a primer's job. Priming first gives me better results with fewer top coats. I choose Kills Primer.
Homeowners and pros know that a little prep goes a long way, especially when you're using the #1 primer in the U.S. Kills. It's the perfect start to a great finish.
The adhesive brand trusted by dads is the same adhesive brand trusted by pit crews. For over 50 years, Loctite has formulated adhesive products for some of the world's most challenging jobs. Loctite, trusted performance, proven results.
Hi.
Patience. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Saturday, NASCAR Race Day hits the high banks, and we're there. As Dale Jr., Ryan Newman, Juan Pablo Montoya, and Daytona 500 winner Jamie McMurray join us live. NASCAR Race Day built by the Home Depot, live from Daytona, Saturday at 4:30 Eastern.
Only on Speed. Back at Daytona. If you're wondering at home, Kyle Petty did continue to stir it up during our commercial break. Thank you for that.
So sorry.
Let's hear from Matt Yoakum on Casey Kane.
And you can add Casey's another casualty to the David Reagan incident earlier on in this practice session. He clipped the spinning 6 car. They've gone to their backup car, but now is the process of going through all the little things that Wally and KP have talked about that you do to restrictor plate cars. They just affixed to the A-post roll bar the small side mirror, just different little things like that, getting this race car ready for the next practice session.
30 minutes left in this session, so no way they're going to get on.
Yeah, I missed that too. I did not catch that in that first practice. I think we were so focused on the 18 and the 6 that he must have gotten it at some point in time, but I did not catch that piece.
If you're just joining us, we did stop down one time during this practice session. Very early on, Kyle Busch and David Reagan both crashing their race cars, and as Matt just reported, Casey Kane also got a piece of the action. All three have now gone to backup cars.
Now, I'll tell you what, that 16 car doesn't look too bad today.
No, and like I said, I thought he had a shot at winning the 500. This could be a place where the Ford guys come back and shine a little bit. When this racetrack gets a little slick, if they can get their stuff to handle with the engine combination they have, this may be a place where it comes in for them.
And you know what? Biffle's good on these type of situations. He likes a loose car. He likes to hang out a car like that, like Carl Edwards does. Kyle Busch is the same way. So you're right. I mean, Roush cars could have a pretty decent day. Let's go back and see if we can see a little bit better what we missed the first time, and that's Casey Kane getting into this deal.
Here comes Casey through the screen right about now.
Oh, he's way. I don't see where he.
Here, oh no,
it must have been. He must have come right off back up the racetrack.
Yeah, 6 came back up. Yeah, we didn't see that. We were focused on it, and apologize to everybody out there because I did not see that at all. I was so focused on the 11 trying to dodge the 18, and those guys, we did not see Casey get a piece of it.
Denny Hamlin did a great job of tiptoeing through that accident and not getting involved. Casey Kane, not so lucky. It's Matt Kenseth you see out in front of this group. New paint scheme for him this week. A number of cars look a little bit different for this summer race here at Daytona. You guys mentioned the Fords having an opportunity to get back where they want to be this weekend. They won 2 of the 4 restrictor plate races a year ago. Matt Kenseth, who you see here, of course, winning the Daytona 500 here in February. And then it was Jamie McMurray who led them to victory lane at Talladega in the fall.
Look at that 20-car close right there, man.
Yeah, no, these guys have a big closing rate on these cars, it looks like.
Yeah, that was huge. That was like 4 or 5 car lengths just getting in the corner.
See, he backed out over there in turn 3 or 4, for the 17, and he just lost 3 spots just by backing out that little bit.
This car looks really good, though. I mean, he's right down on the bumps on that yellow line. That car, I mean, he's getting over the bumps good, and it seems to be working fairly well.
Just under 30 minutes left in this practice session at Daytona.
Tonight, who will follow in the footsteps of Petty, Johnson, Earnhardt, France Sr., and France Jr.? Find out as the nominees for the second class of the NASCAR Hall of Fame are unveiled exclusively on NASCAR Race Hub. Tonight at 8 Eastern, only on Speed.
A lot has changed over the years in how you make a vehicle go fast. But one thing hasn't changed: Sunoco's proven performance. Today, we continue to focus on quality and performance and are proud to fuel champions in just about anything that races. Fueling victories every week, every race, every win. The Sunoco Free Fuel 5000 is back. Get your decal at Sunoco for a chance to win 5,000 gallons of gas.
I know you love this car. A lot of memories. I'm glad you're all right.
At The Hartford, we hear from our AARP auto insurance customers all the time. But not just about savings and benefits for drivers 50 and over. Usually, they just want to thank us for making a difficult time a little less difficult.
It's perfect. Where'd you find it? I was just driving up here. There's
The AARP auto insurance program from The Hartford.
My truck isn't something you want to see in your rearview mirror.
My truck is a 3,400-pound precision-guided sledgehammer.
I guess you could say my truck likes to take the path less travelable.
My truck never gets claustrophobic in tight spaces.
My truck doesn't haul tools, but hardware, that's a different story.
The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Tough trucks, tough racing.
Tonight on Speed, who will follow in the footsteps of Petty, Johnson, Earnhardt, France Sr., and France Jr.? find out as the nominees for the second class of the NASCAR Hall of Fame are unveiled exclusively on NASCAR Race Hub tonight at 8 Eastern, only on Speed.
Wally, when you came down here, did you used to bring your family down here for the beach?
I always do. This is a great place to bring your family.
A great place to bring your family. How about you, Adam? Did you bring your family?
Many times I brought my family down.
Did you bring
here.
them this year?
They stayed at home this year.
Oh.
Hey, Marty, I think you brought your family, right?
I did.
Just continue to make me
feel
bad.
So they can hang out with Wally. Yeah, we all brought our families. How about you, Adam?
I didn't want my kids to meet Kyle.
You're in trouble, Adam, whether you know it or not when you get home. Speaking of in trouble, unfortunately, Elliott Sadler, our friend, is in trouble as well. And I wish I had some story like they were late for inspection or they had a penalty of some sort, but they have only run 2 laps because Elliott went out one time and said, the car is horrible, guys. Came back in, they made a bunch of changes, and he said, guys, I've never had a car that acted like this. It's like someone's trying to spin me out, and I look around, and nobody's around me. Elliott, very unhappy with his race car, and traditionally very good at this racetrack. So for the 3rd time, they'll go back out and try to get some laps in today. Matt.
Marty, the Daytona 500 champion, Jamie McMurray, has pulled the one car back into his garage stall. They've made 2 runs this practice session. The first run with setup A, they ran 16 laps, and then they just completed 15 laps with this latest setup. Now, he felt like the drivability was a little bit better with this setup. It was also better on entry, but he felt like the first setup had more speed. So Kevin Bonamane is going to swap back to the first setup they started this practice session with and just pick up from there. They're pretty pleased with this race car. And by the way, guys, talking about one hand down the back straightaway, one hand on the roll bar, that's just vintage Dale Earnhardt.
You know, normally, and here's the most laps run by these guys, normally in Elliott's situation, it isn't going to get better.
No.
Unless they find something wrong with that car. If your car is that bad in 1 or 2 laps, you're in for a long couple days.
Yeah.
Woo, that 98's loose.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you something. I went and played. I was in a golf tournament with Elliott and Hermie. They did an autism tournament on Monday up in Richmond, Virginia. 99 degrees, and those guys were out there, you know, raising funds for that. That was a big deal. And Elliott was really looking forward to coming down here. And it's like you say. So when you drag out right off the bat, man, and you got trouble, these things don't fix themselves.
On board here with Tony Stewart. He is 5th quick of those drivers that had been out. And as you just saw a moment ago, he's been very aggressive. He crossed the start-finish line last time. 31 laps he has turned in this session.
You know, the problem is you got Elliott out there. There's rain in the area. We've talked about it. You know what I mean? You get 1 or 2 practices and then it's impound. You know, if you've got a car and you've run, we've got almost an hour into this practice and he's run 2 laps. I mean, I don't want to go qualify. Yeah. I don't know what that thing's going to do when I sail her off in the corner by myself.
Worse than that, you only get a couple laps for qualifying, so then you got to line it up and go race.
Which is just terrible, man.
That's when you take your family to the beach instead.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I bet Elliott has his family down there.
Everybody does.
Yeah, it's the beach.
I bet you $100 mine will be here next year after this conversation. Thanks, though. And if you have any extra frequent flyer miles, let me know. Okay?
Anytime. You watch Denny Hamlin here. You know, we've talked about Denny the last couple of weeks. He wins everything coming and going for 4 or 5 weeks. He goes to Sonoma or Infineon and gets in an accident. And you know, but last week those guys really struggled hard, and we had him on pre-race on TNT, and he really wasn't sure because he said we just put Kyle's stuff in here. We're really not sure where we're at. And they didn't get a good run last week. So this is a place these guys do need to rebound. You see the 19 car all the way up at the wall. Look at that thing move around.
I mean, it looks bad.
Isn't it amazing, though, how quickly it can change? We were 5 weeks ago, Pocono, Michigan, back-to-back. You couldn't touch Denny Hamlin. They were out to lunch at Sonoma, struggled all day. All 3 of the Joe Gibbs cars did. And then you go to New Hampshire last week and you pointed out they were having a hard time again.
Yeah, but let's go back 5 or 6 weeks. You couldn't touch Denny Hamlin, and we had already written off the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson.
That's the other part of the
equation. And now Jimmy Johnson is back, and we're writing off the 11 car.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. These guys they have a couple of bad races. You can't expect these guys to perform at that level 36 times a year. I mean, they're going to have bad races sometimes.
It does give us something to talk about. In our case, Kyle, you and I can argue about it, right? Just under 20 minutes left in this practice.
I'm Joey Logano, and you're watching Speed.
So many unforgettable moments in All-Star Game history.
What can we expect this year?
All-Star Game, check it out on Fox.
The Camping World Destination Recreation Sweepstakes is back and better than ever. More prizes and chances to win this year's grand prize. A 4 Winds Hurricane motorhome. Second prize, a new Coleman travel trailer.
Plus, great Camping World RV and outdoor accessories.
Over $100,000 in prizes will be given away during the Camping World Destination Recreation Sweepstakes in 2010.
Log on to campingworld.com or visit any Camping World retail location to enter and for prize details.
Watch Camping World's Destination Recreation product features on Speed during the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race.
Tonight, who will follow in the footsteps of Petty, Johnson, Earnhardt, France Sr., and France Jr.? Find out as the nominees for the second class of the NASCAR Hall of Fame are unveiled exclusively on NASCAR Race Hub. Tonight at 8 Eastern, only on Speed.
The 4th of July weekend sale is on right now at Antioch Toyota. All Toyotas come with the Antioch Promise, our commitment to the highest level of customer service. And we have 0% APR available on 10 new vehicles. Grab the brand new 2010 Prius for just $179 a month, or get 0% APR for up to 36 months with approved credit. Only at the Superstore, Antioch Toyota. Or pick up a new 2010 Camry for just $17,738, or get 0% APR up to 36 months on approved credit. Make the smart choice and head to Antioch Auto Center, serving Contra Costa for 21 years. So big they named an exit after them. Auto Center Drive off Highway 4.
The biggest stage creates the biggest drama. The 2010 FIFA World Cup on ESPN, ESPN HD, ESPN2, and ESPN2 HD, June 11th through July 11th. ESPN, serving sports fans around the world.
Brought to you locally by the Antioch Auto Center. Make the smart choice at the Antioch Auto Center. Auto Center Drive off Highway 4.
The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series invades the Hawkeye State, and we're there for all the 3-wide, door-to-door, full-throttle excitement. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series live from Iowa, July 11th at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed.
Are you doing that race?
I'm not going to be there.
Why not?
I don't think.
Because it's your
What are you,
birthday?
my travel agent?
Is it your birthday
or something?
Actually, it is. Well, I hate it when the truck feeds you guys material that they don't feed me.
Oh, no,
you know?
we knew that about you.
Yeah, we knew that.
Because you love me so much, right?
My alarm on my Sprint phone just went off and said Adam's birthday.
Yeah,
11.
I bet it did. I bet it did.
Is your family going to be with you for your birthday?
Yeah, they are, actually. You're babysitting next Thursday in Chicago, Wally. How quickly you forget.
I babysit every weekend in the booth with you, Adam.
Yeah.
Why not?
There's that one car back out there. This group came to race, man. I mean, they have put more laps, or as many laps as anybody else out there today.
36 now for McMurray. Logano's been out there quite a bit as well. He's turned 31 laps today.
And the interesting part about Logano and the 20 car and the 1 car is these guys have run all over the racetrack. They've gone out and they've run a segment high. They've gone out and run a segment low. They've gone out and tried to run 3 wide. They've really done a lot with their car trying to figure out where it works best and where it doesn't work. You see the 11 jump out of the pack right there, and he's coming in.
Casey Kane had turned 11 laps in the early portion of this practice before being involved in an accident. Let's get an update from Matt.
And Adam, he's actually climbed into the backup car, the 9 team. They are tuning the engine. He's buckling in. About 14 minutes left in this practice session, so they've really done well getting this backup car ready to get out for a few laps. Now, while Kyle Busch's race car had never seen light as far as action in a race, this is an older car out of the 9-car stable. It's seen a number of races over the past 2 years, so they know exactly what it can do and also the history of it. Window net going up for Casey. He's getting ready to go out. And by the way, guys, please make a note of that.
Note made.
Brad Keselowski feeling good about himself in this practice session. He's been aggressive.
He has, but I think if we go back to February again, I thought the Dodge team, the Penske team ran well down here. There were a couple of times during the race that, you know, you had the 2, the 12, and the 77 of Hornish all in the top 10. And really, Hornish dropped to the back a couple of times and drove back to the front. So they've got a good restrictor plate and got a good program. Again, this is the first time with them for the spoiler, so it's going to be interesting to see how they adjust to that.
Well, Kurt Busch, the lead car of that 3-car operation, has been very good in restrictor plate racing. He's not won, but he's been very successful, including 3 runner-up finishes here.
And watching that group right there, something interesting. They drove off into the corners like they were bump drafting. As soon as they got into the corner, they all separated and went their own separate ways. You see how much gap they give each other in the corner because they go to different places. The 78 goes high. That 16 car works pretty good to be in the middle of the racetrack and cut back down to the bottom, but they give themselves plenty of room when they get there.
We mentioned Kurt Busch, always good here. How does he feel about the progress in this session, Marty?
Well, this is his last lap out there. They wanted to make a 15-lap run. They will call it quits for this practice session in all likelihood. They've really been all over the map, but Kurt very happy with the car right now. He said it's turning much better, but he's almost worried it may be turning a little too well. He said, I think if longer we run on this, the looser this car would get. So this will be his final lap of the session, but you guys know it's a balance there, isn't it? You want it loose enough to turn, but not too loose so at the end of the run it's way too loose for your car.
Yeah, especially a place like this. Now, you see what Kurt's done. This is his last lap, but he's hung on the outside. You saw his hand out the window trying to motion to get down, and that's a bad place to be. A lot of guys, when they get to their last lap, they'll run that last lap on the bottom of 1 and 2 so they can get out of the way. Kurt just got hung on the outside.
Good workout for this team in the opening practice. 41 laps for driver number 2. And now Steve Addington and the guys will get together and visit about what they learned. Just over 10 minutes left in this opening practice session. And in just over an hour, cars will be back out at 6:30 Eastern time. You can see final practice from Daytona right here on Speed. And there's the update on laps run in this practice. Kurt Busch more than anyone.
And that's a lot of laps, and those guys are working good, or they wouldn't be putting that many laps up on the board. So those are guys that are just listed that, you know, they're going to be up front on Saturday.
And the one on that list that surprises me as much as any of them is Jeff Gordon. You never see Jeff go out and run lap after lap after lap after lap. So his car, as you say, Wally, must be working fairly well, and they're confident in where they're at.
Mentioned Casey Kane was moving back toward the track. Matt gave us that update a moment ago. David Reagan, who went sideways through turns 3 and 4 and created our only incident in this practice session, also has been able to get his backup on track for a few laps in this session. Joey Logano being shown as the quickest in practice number 1. We're back to Daytona in a moment.
July 11th, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series thunders into the Hawkeye State for door-to-door, lightning-fast, full-contact excitement. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series live from Iowa, July 11th at 1:30 Eastern, only on Speed.
How durable is Quaker State? We just tested Quaker State motor oil that had driven thousands of miles in New York City taxis. And even when it was ready to be replaced, that used Quaker State still passed the wear protection, rust protection, and viscosity retention tests for brand new oil. Extra protection when you need it most. That's Quaker State. Real, durable oil.
August 21st, the Irwin Tools Night Race at Bristol Motor Speedway. The trophy that means more than money or points. The track where drivers settle old grudges and create new ones. The one race every NASCAR fan has to see. And for the first time in over 25 years, you can get tickets. There's racing, and then there's Bristol. August tickets on sale now. Call 423-BRISTOL today.
Speed's presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup practice from Daytona, brought to you by Sprint, the Now Network. Looking for the latest stats and results from the track? Stay informed and make your best fantasy picks using Speed's comprehensive NASCAR stats for the latest practice and qualifying reports, race results, and driver standings. Get more at the NASCAR section of Speed.com.
That one car still out there wearing it out. And the 20.
And the 20.
Yeah.
Still at the front of the pack, still racing. And you know, that's the funny thing about this type of practice. You get a pack that goes out and runs, and the players keep coming and going. And guys will go in and work on their cars, and then you go back out and you jump back in. It's just one main pack that runs the whole time. And that's why these guys have just been in this pack. I mean, it seems like since they started practice, 20 cars finally in right here.
Let's hear from Carl Edwards, Marty.
And we'll talk to Carl as he signs autographs. One of the great things about the Daytona garage area, this is glass, and that's the fan zone area where fans can come in. And Carl's signing autographs. You signed, what, a couple hundred so far, you think?
Yeah, no, not a couple hundred.
A lot, though.
20 or so. Look at this. This guy's got a really neat little Scott's diecast here. It's cool you get to see all the different merchandise that's out there. You know, we don't get to see all the stuff, but people come with all sorts of neat things and pictures. And I met a lot of these people before. And I just stole this man's pen right here.
You better give it back.
He's like, what are you doing, man? Our Subway Fusion's just real loose right now. We've been working really hard to get it, to come off of the corner with the throttle down. But I mean, I don't know what it looks like on TV, but from where I'm sitting, it's pretty wild out there.
It looks rough out there is what it looks like on TV.
Yeah, okay, well, good, because it is. And we're just doing the best we can to get this thing to, you want to leave the throttle down and get that run off of the corner, but then all of a sudden the car just turns sideways and you're like, I better lift, and I think it's going to be an amazing race.
So you have noticed a difference with the new plate then?
Yes, if that's what it is, then yes, I've noticed a difference. It's pretty cool of them to open it up and put a little bit more control back into the driver's hands. And I mean, when you go down the corner here and you have to lift and bounce over those bumps and slide, I mean, that's racing, so it's going to be pretty wild.
Real quick, how close was that with you and the 18 and the 6 there early on in practice?
I don't think it could be any closer. I was pushing 18.
So you were pushing him?
Yeah, I didn't know he was. He had the 6 turn sideways. My spotter Jason said he said whoa, 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 and I thought he just meant that the 18 was slowing down a little bit, but it happened too quick. And so Jason was quicker than me, and I just. I thought, he'll get back on the throttle, and he never did. Once I saw the 6 all turn sideways, I thought that's why he wasn't on the throttle. So it was all of us.
There you go. Sounds like the new plate's fun. If you guys want, we can probably get you a ride for the weekend, Kyle and Wally. We can get Kyle and Wally back in the car this weekend. Driver's race, right?
Either one of you are welcome to drive this a little bit next practice. That'd be fun.
Whenever you want. And I'll tell you what, Elliott Sadler would let you drive his car as well if you guys want to.
Carl mentioned the 18 of Kyle Busch involved in that early accident. He, too, has returned to the racetrack and will get a little bit of practice time here, Matt.
And, guys, Juan Pablo Montoya, he's going to run out this practice session until we see the red and black flags designating the end of practices. The car on this setup is a little bouncy, and it's also bottoming out the splitter. The other big adjustment, though, that he wants to make between sessions, he wants to go back to this mirror. This is the mirror that he normally runs on that roll bar near the A post. They've swapped to a different one because when they were here in February, he wanted one that was out a little bit more to get a better vision. But he says it just is not the right angle for him, so they're going to go back to this mirror in the next session.
Carbon fiber mirror.
Yeah, that's not expensive.
No,
it's not expensive at all. It's pretty amazing though how you get used to a mirror being in a certain place, and then you get in a car and they've got a different mirror in it. I know you find it hard to believe. The King and those guys, they bought boxes of mirrors, and probably while Wally was still driving there, they were still using a mirror out of a '64 Fury, a Plymouth Fury. It was just an old mirror that the King got used to running in, and he could never adjust to the bigger mirrors and stuff like that. But from a driver's perspective, you want things in the same place all the time because it gives you that comfort level, and it takes the guessing out of it.
Talked a lot early in our show here this evening about the difference in the way this track handles from February to July. How different is it running 500 miles versus 400 as we get set to wrap up this session?
I always thought the 400-mile race went a lot faster than the 500-mile race. The 500-mile race, you ride for a long time. It just never seemed like you just rode a long time in the 400. You were always going.
Ooh. And that 14 turns left and then right there. But you're right. The 400 to me always remind me of the qualifying races at Daytona. They drop the green flag, you pit once, you pit twice, boom, race is over with. You know what I mean? And it's just different. But I mean, this was a fairly uneventful from our side of the ropes here, our side of the wall. It's a fairly uneventful practice. Yeah, we had a couple of accidents and some stuff happen. But when you hear Carl talk about it and you hear these drivers talk about it, it's been an incredibly eventful practice for those guys. There's a lot of stuff they've got to go debrief and figure out. You see these guys run on around the corner to cut it clean, probably come in.
The red and black flags have been displayed at Daytona. Practice number 1 is complete.
Wow.
The spacious flag stand at Daytona International Speedway. So the next time these cars will be on track, about an hour from now, it will be final practice, and this being an impound weekend, that will be the last opportunity these cars have to hit the track before qualifying tomorrow and then the race on Saturday.
Is that a safer barrier around that thing?
It looks like,
and if it isn't, it should be.
It should, but as nice as it is, they just give them a folding chair to set in. That's
Practice number 1 in the books. Joey Logano was the fastest of them all.
Tonight, who will follow in the footsteps of Petty, Johnson, Earnhardt, France Sr., and France Jr.? Find out as the nominees for the second class of the NASCAR Hall of Fame are unveiled exclusively on NASCAR Race Hub. Tonight at 8 Eastern, only on Speed. Friday, NASCAR returns to Daytona, and we're there for live Sprint Cup qualifying. Then Kevin Harvick and Casey Kane bring the party to NASCAR trackside. Live coverage begins Friday at 4 Eastern with NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying.
Only on Speed.
.600 pounds of salmon breath. You in? 5th generation 4Runner. Sucker punched by a big fish. You in? 5th generation 4Runner.
Imagine if you could keep your engine as close as possible to factory clean. Introducing new Pennzoil Ultra. A revolutionary new synthetic oil that takes clean where it's never been before. Nothing feels like a factory clean engine, and nothing keeps you closer to factory clean than new Pennzoil Ultra motor oil. Get Pennzoil Ultra now at participating O'Reilly Auto Parts stores nationwide.
Where do I get my daily NASCAR fix? Log on to NASCAR.com. NASCAR.com.
They have everything.
They have highlights,
Interviews, preview shows,
me shows. You say me shows? My show, Pound's Corner. Tons of videos.
I like the articles myself.
Articles?
Yeah, the articles, track smack, splash and go.
Hey, look, whatever you need, I promise you, NASCAR.com has it.
NASCAR.com.
NASCAR.com.
NASCAR.com. Check it out.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Sprint Cup practice complete. The opening session of the weekend. Joey Logano was the quickest at Daytona, and these teams will have one more opportunity to dial in their cars an hour from now with final practice. Here's how it wrapped up. Logano, who was out there a bunch, the fastest. The other cars in the top 10, including Tony Stewart, who's won 3 of the last 5 summer races here at Daytona. Kyle Busch, David Reagan, 11th and 14th, going to backup cars, as is 20th place Casey Kane. Talked a lot about Dale Earnhardt Jr., top 5 finish here earlier this season in the 500. He was 30th in that opening session.
How about Steve Park back in that 36 car, man, for down here? That's pretty cool.
First Cup start since 2003. Here's some of the teams that will be searching for speed in practice number 2, because a number of the drivers there will be in that go or go home category. Elliott Sadler, a driver who struggled in the opening practice. It was well documented, and they need final practice to get their car dialed in. You don't want to go blind into a qualifying run tomorrow with a car you're not sure about.
No, and the advantage that these guys have, though, is they're part of Richard Petty Motorsports. So they've got the 9 car, they've got the 98 car, they've got the 43 car. So at least they can go somewhere and throw something under it and kind of have an idea of where they're at. But wherever they've started, for Elliott's liking, is just not where they need to be.
Elliott 36th in the opening practice, and the debrief session full of more smiles at the other end when you look at Joey Logano, who was fastest.
I'm not sure I'd take this car out in the next practice session. I mean, they were a lot of laps. The car looked good. They're quickest on the board. Well, I wouldn't push my luck.
Had a race car that's been to victory lane here multiple times with Tony Stewart behind the wheel. Young Joey Logano going to try and get it back there on Saturday evening in the Coke Zero 400, powered by Coca-Cola. So now an hour to get things ready, and what is the focus in that final session, Kyle, for teams who need a little more?
I think some of these guys are going to make some qualifying laps just to see where they're at. But the rest of them is they're focused strictly on the race and getting their stuff to handle, because the next practice is race conditions almost.
And when the cars hit the track in about an hour's time, you can see all the action right here on Speed. Final practice will be here at 6:30 Eastern Time. We thank you for being with us. With Kyle Petty and Wally Dallenbach, I'm Adam Alexander. So long for now from Daytona International Speedway.